Hey guys! This is Flirty, Dirty, and Bookish. Welcome to the dark side.
Listen if you dare.
So today we have something super fun. We are interviewing Samantha Bee. She is the writer of the Steel Roses series, the Westbrook Wolves series. She has written Damaged and Deadly, which will be a series, as well as Fall for Us, which if any of you guys follow us, we absolutely love every single one of these books, and we hope you do too. We are so excited to talk to her and get to know a little bit more of the insight of her process of writing these books, how they came to be, what she likes the most, and everything like that. So, yeah.
And also there are going to be spoilers and things talked about, things that have already been written, spoiler wise. So if you haven't read any of these books yet and you don't want to be spoiled, come back and listen to this later. Or if you have read some of them, and we're getting towards a book that you haven't read yet and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe just cut out before.
Yeah.
We do I would say we're probably, based on interviews we've had before, we'll probably end up talking about one series, kind of intermingling the whole thing. So if you're not
Yes.
done a specific section, maybe come back and listen to it later.
Yeah. But if you're anything like me and you like spoilers, just listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or like me, I just don't care and I just love it and still read it if I haven't read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
You?
You're so cute. I love you already.
I did my makeup just for you guys. I said, hold on, guys. I did a face mask today.
I love it.
Actually, I was reading Damaged and Deadly, and I was like, face mask sounds good. Like, I should do that more often.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
literally sat there while reading and I'm like, I should go put one on right now.
It inspired me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How was your day?
It was good. I spent most of it rereading because every single time I listened to your guys' reviews, I was like, who? I forgot so much. I was just like, I think I need to do a reread before they ask me any
Fair.
questions. It's gonna be you guys
That's
telling
totally fair.
me what you think about the books and asking a question. I'm gonna be like, what do you guys think?
I don't know who that person is.
Like,
That's
okay.
funny.
I never know who I'm talking to in Instagram DMs.
It's me.
It
talking to
started with
Morgan.
me, and then Morgan took over
Yeah.
completely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of here for the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging out.
It's
I just love the books.
it started with Kylie because she read Fall for Us first.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went balls to the wall and started being that really like, hi, what's this? Hi, what about that? What about this? Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I basically told her I'd messaged you about Fall for Us and all this different stuff, and I'm like, did you know Asher is like connected to this? And then she went berserk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing about me and Gabby is we are very similar. If you slide into our DMs, we'll just about give you anything.
I love that.
We're like,
Yeah.
here. Who's gonna stop me?
Right?
I started with her and was probably 10 times more annoying because I was like, how dare you kill Logan like that? When is this coming out? What about this? Is this person getting a book? And this is before I had any sort of TikTok, any sort of Instagram. I was using an old Instagram account that didn't even have a profile photo, just absolutely like
who
rage
are you?
bait. Yes, like
Probably.
But
totally
she's still
like,
answering you.
yeah,
No,
but like
me and Gabby
totally
are the worst.
rage baiting her.
We're the absolute worst. You slide into our DMs and you're nice, we'll tell you anything.
Yeah.
We're like, where? But
Literally.
about the whole Logan thing, that book is dedicated to me. I refuse to read it. I have not read it.
Oh my
You've never
God.
read it?
No, because me and her plotted the whole thing and then she went and switched it on me and I said, fuck you, I'm not reading it. Also, like not a fun fact, my grandpa died as she was writing that book. And I
Mm,
was like, okay, I actually can't handle
mhm.
reading it.
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
I will kill myself. So
Yeah.
she was
Fair.
like,
That's
she was
fair.
like, don't. She was like, please, because I read the beginning and I gave her some notes on the beginning that I thought after I like got over my tantrum because I threw a full blown tantrum. I threatened to kill Luca in
Oh,
retaliation. The series was already done. Steel Roses was already done, published, and I was like, I'll write another book and kill him, like
Just to kill him.
just to get back at
it
you.
was like a 4-chapter little novella. Luca dead.
Just Merry Christmas.
Dedication.
Luca's
Fuck you,
dead.
GN
GN,
Wright.
right.
You changed this book, and now I'm mad at you, and now your favorite character's dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Luca
my
is
God.
safe. Luca is safe. But I thought about it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I was
I'd think about
really
it for
mad about that. I
Logan.
was listening to your interview with her and I was like, yeah, get her. Yell at
I
her
was
some more.
so mad.
We were not
Like,
happy about Logan.
even like still to this day, I make TikToks being like, I'll never trust another author again. Like, she
Yeah,
ruined it for me.
she's
Like,
hmm
she's a fucking cunt.
full blown.
Fuck Gabby.
Like she made the dedication of the Puck player to all the Logan girlies, and that was for what is it, New Girl or something?
No,
Yeah.
it's for Gilmore Girls.
Yes,
That's
Gilmore
what it was,
Girls.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I've never watched Gilmore Girls, so I associate Logan with her killing him off, and I texted her, I'm like, I will not read this book if someone dies in it. She goes, oh no, it has nothing to do with him. And I'm like, okay.
She's like, wrong, Logan. Mistaken
Yeah.
identity.
I'm like, how can you even say that name and not
Yeah.
cry? Because
Well,
that
and
I
I
had
actually
full blown
named
panic attack.
I named Lily and Logan too. So I was
Well,
like, how dare you?
that's really sad.
That
So
was
I
my
love their
baby.
names.
I was
Yeah.
like, that was my baby. And then I started reading Fractured, and I was like, dude, I don't think my mental health is good enough for this one either.
No,
Because
I'm
being in Lily's
scared.
head is so sad.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I
I'm
really want to
terrified.
get to the sex. You're kind of making me want to kill myself. So I have to take a pause.
Yeah.
I'm so scared for Fractured.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's just like the beginning is just Lily grieving. And
She sent
it's
Yeah.
us the first page because Morgan was harassing her. And so we got the first page and we were already like, oh
And
God.
I'm like sitting here like,
I'm terrified.
this is, yep. I'm like, I thought this was going to be a little spicy novella with the stepbrother and the best friend. Then all of a sudden it's like, I think I'm not mentally well.
I think I belong in a white jacket with all these
Hmm.
fancy straps
Hmm.
and a padded cell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, so moving on from
Oh no, I'm
Gabby
like,
and
we're just
her
talking about
like
Gabby.
stabbing of Logan, because honestly, no, poor Logan. I'll never get over it. But so where are you from? We're just gonna
Let's jump right
get
in.
to know you
I
a little bit. Yeah.
born and raised in Southern California. I still
Nice.
live here. I grew up more in like the hills of Los Angeles.
Nice.
Both my dad and my brother and my grandpa all work in the TV movie industry.
Fun.
Cool.
So
Oh,
I like grew up going to sets and stuff. I don't have any like super cool fun stories about meeting celebrities or anything, but I just grew up. My dad's an artist. He like paints and builds sets.
That's
cool.
really
So I
That's
cool.
grew up
really
very
cool. Yeah.
immersed in creativity and storytelling and um so I think just like being in Southern California, like you meet so many people that are
So
just
much
want to be an
opportunity.
actor, they want to be an actress, they're writing a script, they're so it's just I think that really just being here and living here my whole life, I do think that kind of pushed me towards this career a little bit more, gave me the balls to pursue it.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
like that. That's really cool.
Yeah, now I live in Orange County now, so still close to like
Yeah.
LA, but a little
Mhm.
more suburban
Out of
Yeah.
the hustle and bustle of the
of the
hmm
city life.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so how did you go from like what did you do before writing basically, and then how did you transition into becoming an author?
I'm actually still an esthetician. So
Okay.
Oh,
I
cool.
am an esthetician. I work as an esthetician and see guests 3 days a week, and then I write
Cool.
the rest of the time.
Nice.
Um, Big factor in it was COVID. Similar to Gabby, you've heard this story because I hear her
Hmm.
tell it all the time. For me, it was a little different. I had actually made it to my 2020 New Year's resolution to write a book. Well, to finish a book because I grew up writing. I grew up writing stories. I grew up writing songs, poetry, um, all of the things, but I never would finish a story. So that was my goal for 2020. And then COVID came along and I didn't work for 9 months. And I had all this time and I was reading a ton. And my son was 4 at the time and I was homeschooling him because all the schools were shut down. And I started a bookstagram, met Gabby, and I had 5 chapters of Shattered Chaos written. And I didn't even have a name at the time, but I had 5 chapters written. And Gabby had 5 chapters written of hers. And we met on Instagram. She slid into my DMs and we were just talking. And we always joke that she hit on me bookstagram style because she was like, "No, what you reading?" And yeah, we started talking, ended up figuring out that we both were working on projects. We're like trading them back and forth, and they're very similar. They're very similar vibes. Elle and Scar are very similar characters. We were motivated for the same reasons of like we were reading the same books, we loved the same books, but we just really, really wanted like a badass FMC that was the badass.
Hmm.
That wasn't like she's a badass, but she's not in charge.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
wanted her to be in charge. We wanted her to be the fiercest, her to be the scariest, her to be the one calling the shots. And so I was like, girl, we're twins. We should do this together. So we switched manuscripts, became like critique partners. And then we both just kind of figured it out along the way. We were getting into Facebook groups together. Like I'd find one, send it to her. She'd find one, she'd send it to me, and figured out how KDP worked, figured out how to format. She published first. I published a couple months later. And then that was it.
I
That's so
love
So,
that.
cool.
I love that you guys did that together. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
also you completely delivered on Scar being a badass
Yes.
FMC
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
named my cat after Scar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
where's the
did.
Yeah,
baby?
she did.
Where's the
I
baby?
did. Where is she? Oh, she's on the floor. I don't know if you can see her. Scarlet,
Where's
can you see her?
Sort
we can
of.
see her
We're a
tail.
bit
She's little.
sideways.
She's under.
We're all like,
She's a three-legged queen, and she's been through some shit. So I was like, it's
so
just a
she's a
fitting name.
badass.
She's a
Yes.
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she's totally the type of cat that'll just like not like be mean, but she'll like hiss at you or swat at you, not trying to
Oh
hurt you,
yeah.
but just be like,
Yeah,
fuck off, stop touching me, I'm
Mhm.
done.
She's Scar.
she's definitely
Yes.
Yeah.
scarred.
Yes.
Scar approves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Um, yeah. What books were you reading back then, or what books do you read now that like kind of inspired it a little bit?
um back then I had been reading, I read Hannaford Pratt,
Mm-hmm.
Madison Kate
Mm-hmm.
by Tate James. Um, I'm trying to think of like my Bookstagram days, like the ones I was reviewing. Um, here's a funny story for you. I started Hades.
Yeah.
Kate published the first book in Hades a week after Shattered Chaos came out, and I got to the end and I started crying because I was like, I'd already written the kidnapping scene with Noah, and I was like, everyone's gonna think I copied her. And it was like so similar. I literally broke down and I was like, everyone's gonna think I'm a plagiarist.
Oh
And then I was like,
no.
okay, I cannot read Tate anymore because our worlds are too similar. Like, I don't want to accidentally
Mm-hmm.
take something. I want like in my head to know that like this is my story.
Hmm.
Um, and I ended up finishing the series after I finished writing Steel Roses, and it goes in a pretty different direction. But
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first book, I was like, why are these so similar? But yeah, there was some other ones. I will say I think I DNF'd Den of Vipers. I think I got bored.
Okay, I've been
She's
wanting to
been
read that for
dying
so
to read
long.
that book.
I actually probably shouldn't have said that. I don't like to talk. I really liked it. Actually, I don't want to say I got bored. I really liked the book. I really liked the unhingedness of the characters, but it made me get to a point where I was like, I just want to go right. Like, I want to get back to my stuff. I want to get back to my stuff. And
Fair.
so I didn't have to like really far into it, like 85%, 90%. And I was like, I don't need to
Wow.
see the happily ever after. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I want to get
Mhm.
back into writing my crazy ass murder scenes.
Yeah, fair.
Um, so yeah, I was reading a lot of that. At the time, a lot of the Bully Academy books were coming out. And so we did see a lot of strong FMCs, but I just felt with a lot of the Why Choose books. I read a lot of CM Stunek. She actually really pushed me into uh, like getting involved in the social media of book world because I'd finished Havoc and at the end of her author notes, I'd like join my Facebook group. And that was the first ever Facebook group I had joined and been like, oh, this is a thing. Like I can talk to people, I can make friends with people on the internet.
Yeah.
So that definitely really pushed me. That was like kind of the first step into what pushed me into being an author because that was
Mhm.
what got me on social media. That was what got me involved in Facebook. I ended up on ARC teams. I ended up making a bookstagram, but that was kind of the first. But it was a lot of those type of books. But a lot of them, even though like Bernie's a badass. Like she is a very tough as nails character. She is not in charge.
Mm-mm.
And that's what
I
I
think
wanted.
Havoc doesn't get as much recognition as it deserves. I
I
think
love
I
Havoc.
loved it. I
Yeah,
know
I'm a
that
big
you
fan
guys
of
haven't read
Sam.
them. I will get you guys to read them eventually, but
I am a big fan of Sam. I like her
yeah.
writing style. Um, I like how in depth she gets with characters.
Hmm.
Um, oh, I'm a big fan of the Twisted Sisters. I was reading those books. But yeah, that was a lot of the really popular wide choose at the time.
Yeah.
I was reading all of them.
So obviously, like, why chooses your preferred?
I'm such a mood reader. The last
Same, honestly.
25 books I've read have all been MM.
I love that. That's my favorite.
So I go through phases. I'll read pretty much anything. I'll read Polyam, I'll read MM, I'll read MF, I'll read White Shoes. I just
Whatever you
I'll
feel.
read I'll like no spice books, tons of spice
Mhm.
books, fantasy,
Yeah,
monsters,
that's
just
where
about
you
anything.
lose Morgan on
Yeah.
fantasy. I've been
Oh.
trying to get her to read it. I'm like, you can't say you don't like it until you've read it, but yeah, it's a struggle
Yeah,
with
I'll
that
try
one.
anything. I'll try anything once.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Gotta try at least once.
That's what I
I've
keep
Yeah.
never
telling
come across
Morgan.
anything
My
that I
goal
haven't
is
liked.
5 fantasy books in 2026.
That's
And do them differently. Like
Mm-hmm.
want paranormal one and like Noctcadia, like that is like the
okay.
real world, like
Mm-hmm.
but magic and
Cross.
stuff, and
Yeah.
then a world building one, at least.
At
The way
least.
you said world building.
So excited.
The
Sure, the
world
world building one if
building,
I have to.
the world building, the wings and the tails are like just what kind of just throws me off a little bit.
Yeah, she can't do Tales, but she said she'd read Eldris Manor by Lee Rivers and Avina St. Graves
Oh,
before
I've seen their
anything
TikToks
really,
about it.
Yeah.
yeah, before
It looks
anything
funny.
really came out. It does. It looks so good. And then the cover art and stuff of him was revealed and he had a tail and she's like, "Oh no." And
She's like,
she's
and never mind.
Yeah.
I take it back.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
actually want to write a fantasy. Little fun fact for you guys.
that would
Ooh.
be cool.
Then you'll have to read it, Morgan.
yeah.
I know. I will. I've read
I'll throw
everything
it at your
else she's
face.
written, so I might as well. Just popping back to it, like I know that you and Gabby were talking and writing your books together. What's the process like when you're like including Asher in your book or she's including Tyler in
Hmm.
hers? Like how do you Like be like, hey, I'm gonna just borrow him for a second, and then like, does it sound right? Like,
Um, it would be a little different now because we don't have as much time to read for each other as we
mhm.
used to. So like I'm no longer her alpha. She has somebody else that she plots with, and I have my team, and they're the ones that I really plot with. Every once in a while when we get really, really stuck and we're like down in the dumps and it's just like I just need my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of like our emergency like SOS to each
Yeah.
other. But back then when we decided to do it, we plotted so like we were on the phone every day. We plotted our books so interwovenly together. Like it was like, okay, I'm gonna go first. These are the things that I need to figure out. These are the things that need to happen. How are we gonna do it? I have this question, I have this question. We talk it out, figure it all out, and then I'm like, okay, your turn. And then she's like, okay, this is what I need to do. So then when it was like as we were talking about it and getting things kind of, it was easy to just be like, well, it would be fun. I need to send Tyler somewhere. Tyler needs to disappear. He needs to be kicked off the island for a little bit. What if we send him to Black Hallows and to deal with all this stuff? And she was like, oh my God, that's so much fun. Like, let's do this. And she's like, well, what if you borrow Max? I don't know if you guys caught that, but Max is in Steel Roses. And
Mhm.
so we just kind of would do that. And then whenever we borrow each other's character, we just make sure, like, hey, can you make sure to read this and make sure it's in his voice and in its, and we're not doing POVs. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't have an Asher POV, so it doesn't have to sound like her style of writing. It just, the dialogue has to match his personality. But,
Yeah.
like, I plotted with her so, like, the entirety of that series up until the last two books that, like, those characters are like my babies too. Those are my nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
she feels the same about like Tyler. Like that was a character that came very easily to her because she helped me plot out and like I said, I named Logan. I named Logan and Lily. Um, we were in every step together. So now it would look a little different. Actually in Lincoln's book, Scar was supposed to have a role in it, but I was really unwell after my grandpa died. And I couldn't like I told her like I wasn't going to be able to read it. And so we did hints in Beautiful Chaos of Asher's reaction to Scar.
Mhm.
We were
Mm-hmm.
going to have that be something in um Lincoln's book. Like it was just going to be a joke. It was just a funny hee hee ha ha.
Mhm.
So there are a few things. We were also gonna intertwine our hockey series together, but with like deadlines and like I wasn't able to read for her and she wasn't able to read for me. So if we're not like super confident about it, we're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun for us. Like it's just fun for us. It's fun for
Yeah.
readers. We share a lot of the same readers because we did so much early on together. A lot of our
Mhm.
like readers that started with us day one are with both of us.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a fun little nod for them too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it was easier back then. It would be a little bit harder now because I'm not as familiar with her characters and she's not as familiar with mine. But
Mhm.
that's pretty much
Yep,
it. A
that's
lot of
fair.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so you guys wrote the BSU series, well, the first book.
We don't we don't talk
Okay. Okay. We
Okay.
don't have to talk about it. But I was just gonna ask
about
what
that.
like the co-writing process is like. Like, is it different than you guys plotting together, or you're like you take a chapter, I take a chapter, or
It was pretty similar. We wrote BSU really quickly because it very much mimicked our normal writing style, but instead of it being like, oh, I'm going to plot these 5 chapters and then come back and you read it, it was like, okay, we're going to plot these chapters and then I'm going to write and then I'm going to write until I can't write anymore. And then I'm going, and like, we're also on kind of opposite where we have an 8-hour time difference.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'd be like going to bed telling them like, okay, this is where I left off, like read. And then we just had a rule. We could add whatever we wanted. We couldn't delete. So if we wanted to delete something, we had to make a note of it rather than just deleting it. That way we were always on the same page. And if we
Fair.
added anything, we added it in a different color so that we could go back and see, like, oh, she changed this, or she added this, or she added dialogue here. So then we got it done really fast because we were writing pretty much 24 hours in a day, because I would write and then she would write, and then it was just, and it was really fun, but we kind of wrote it like in the middle of our other series, and then we both had deadlines, and then I had a mental breakdown in
Fair.
2021, 2022. I don't remember when it was. Didn't write for a year and a half. I took a year and a half off, and she kept writing. So she had all these series, and then her hockey series blew up. And so then people always ask, like, when are you guys going to go back? When are you guys going to go back? It's like, I don't know.
Don't know. It's on a permanent
would
hold
love
for right
to.
now.
We would love to. It just, yeah, it slipped in there as more of a passion project. And yeah, and then things just kind of went, it's my fault. Like, I will take the blame. It's my fault. But yeah, and then she just got really busy, and it was like, okay, well, these are the books that are making her money. Like, she can't take a break to go back to something. And honestly, that book didn't sell well. So it's like, she can't take a break to go back and do a book that 5 people read.
Right.
I mean, those 5 people are very passionate about it. We do love that world. We do love that series. We do want to go back. It's just
When the
a
timing's
timing
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a timing thing.
I feel also too, like, when you guys are ready to go back into it, it would be better than you guys like forcing yourself to do it.
Yeah, we want to be excited about it. It was such
Yeah.
a passion project. It was something that we loved doing. That's what we want it to still be.
Yeah.
And I think it came
exactly.
through in the characters. I think that's why people love it so much, because you could just feel our passion for the story or passion for the characters. And if we did it just because we felt like we had to, we lose that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Better to
Yeah.
wait and make it perfect than to force
yeah,
yourself
so
to do it and then hate
that's
it.
that.
Mhm.
At least once a week, we send each other a screenshot of like a DM or a comment, and we're
Oh
just like,
God. Make it stop, please. Okay, can we jump into Steel Roses world? Okay, what inspired Steel Roses for you? Like, how did you start?
it was based on Scar. I really wanted a badass FMC, like I said, but I also wanted her to be very multi-dimensional, and I wanted her to have this personality that I don't think we see a lot in female characters in media, of her very closed off demeanor. And I will say, it sounds so conceited. I put a lot of myself into Scar, but like, not like, I wouldn't say I'm similar to Scar. I put a lot of my emotional damage into Scar. Like, I did put a lot of the way that she viewed relationships, not for the same reasons, but I wanted a female character that viewed sex the way that I viewed sex. That was very free with it. It didn't feel like it had deeper meaning, or it just, like, she could have fun with it and like it not be a big deal. And relationships kind of freaked her out, and she didn't feel lacking in that department. She just like wasn't ready to open herself up romantically or emotionally to other people. She was very emotionally closed off, like very numb. And at that point in my life, I was very numb in a lot of ways. And I just wanted a character that kind of reflected that. And I felt like we don't, I feel like we see it with main male characters all the time.
Yeah.
We see grumpy, we see closed off. We see, oh, the trauma made him, he doesn't talk to people. We don't see it a lot with female characters. I think in especially like really popular media. Like, I can't think of a show or a movie that Hollywood made or that Netflix is streaming that really has a likable character that people are rooting for, that has that kind of attitude.
Mhm.
So that was a big thing that was like kind of percolating in the back of my mind that I really wanted this character to have. And then actually the first bit of dialogue that popped into my head was the Tuesday, Wednesday joke between Cade and Noah. That was the
Okay,
first
I
I
bit of
love
love
that
that
part.
scene.
so good. Yes. So that
Yeah.
was, and then I was like, this is how I'm going to do it. She's going to be the life of the party. You're not, which I'm not, by the way. I'm not. That's not me. But she is going to be the life of the party. She's going to be like so outgoing, but it's a defense mechanism, like
Hmm.
of not letting people get too close. And then as I was kind of building it, like my question always is, well, why is this character like this? What made this character like this? Um, and I don't know, I kill a lot of siblings, I guess. And I think it's because I have a very, very close emotional bond with my siblings. And if
Hmm.
anything was going to make me go psychotic murderer, it would be you touching my child or you touching my siblings.
Mm.
Fair.
So sorry to the twins, I guess. But I get, and then I don't know. I don't know exactly where all of that came from. I think again, just personal trauma. I write a lot about like sexual abuse and recovering from it, and so I kind of knew that that's where this was going. And I knew it was going to be human trafficking. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what sparked that specific part of human trafficking that I wanted to focus on, but I knew I wanted that to be a main element. And yeah, it was supposed to be a trilogy written, done, put on the shelf, never going back to it. And then I don't know what happened. I have
And
not
then
been
you couldn't
engaging
stop
with it.
kidding.
I don't know. Exploded. And I will say everything I have planned for that world came about while I was writing Shattered Chaos. So it's not like
Oh
I kept
wow.
writing the series and
Okay.
more kept coming out. I do not think I have added anything new that I did not plan and start taking notes on while I was writing Shattered Chaos. So there are hints in Shattered Chaos, the very first book, for a lot.
I'm gonna have to
A
go reread that
I
now
know
because
now I have to go
I'm
back
Yeah.
and look at it
so
because I need to
impatient.
know everything.
I'm gonna be sitting there and be like, okay, so that one, so this
You're
little
like
thing,
you're
that little thing.
annotating it.
We're gonna
I'm
be
Yes,
like, so
texting each
while
other.
you
exactly.
Okay, what
do
do you think
it,
about this? Yeah.
What do you think about these four words put together? This
Yeah.
could
Do you
mean
think this
something,
means
right?
something? Am I crazy? Yeah.
I think you guys have probably caught on to it because one of you told me that like you saw Lennox's name in the
Yes.
other
Yes.
books. But I did put the title for the second book in Jade's series. Uh,
Yes.
that is in writing in the book multiple times, and I did it on purpose
Cool.
because I knew what the title was going to be. And I think I sent somebody a paperback way back when because I told somebody I was like, the first person who guesses the name of the next book, I'll send you a paperback. And somebody guessed it because
So
it's
cool.
written into the series multiple times. It's bruised and battered.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I love
Yeah.
So
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the rest of this
Everything.
universe. But I want to talk about my one of my all-time favorite scenes. I talked about it on TikTok. I don't know why this is in my top. It just is. How did you come up with the dartboard scene? Like, I have to know what inspired that. Was there any rhyme or reason, or it just came to you?
I think that I just kept trying to one up myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I think I just kept trying because Scar has some pretty brutal and gory and creative murder scenes
She definitely does.
throughout
Yeah.
Yep.
the series. And so I kept being like, how can I top that? How can I top that? But
What?
with when it comes to the dartboards, the man-made dartboards, they're also just super competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're a
Fair.
very competitive and playful bunch. Throughout the series, anytime there is a very emotionally heavy scene, which there are a lot of, especially in Deadly,
Mm-hmm.
um, it gets broken up with humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think in that moment, they all play off of each other so well. They know each other so well. I was very, very intentional in creating their dynamics and their character like attributions and how they fit each other.
Mm.
And they're very balanced, and that's like very intentional. There's three hot-tempered characters in their family, and there's three more cold, logical people in their family, and
Yeah.
all of that was very, very intentional. I wanted it to be a balance for me. When I read a why choose, I want it to make sense. I don't want it to be a selfish thing. I don't want it to be like, well, she obviously has a favorite, or the author obviously has a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that doesn't come across in my books, but
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted it to be like, oh no, none of this would work if we lost one of them. Like everything would.
Yeah.
I definitely think that was very clear. I don't think, yeah. I
And
never once
so,
thought she could subtract any of them.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I think the dartboard scene is an accumulation of all of that, because it is a very emotionally heavy scene for Scar. It's what she has been working for nearly a decade.
Yeah.
Um, and so, what better way to be cruel and taunt these victims the way that they taunted you and made your pain into a game and made your humiliation into entertainment for them? Like, she, those photos haunt her. Um, and what better way to do that than to turn you into a game
Mm-hmm.
and to make it painful and to laugh in your face as we do it and for us to be joking. And her men know that she needs that she needs the levity in that very critical moment of her life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think
Mm-hmm.
it was all of that. I was trying to top myself, and I also wanted their relationship dynamic to really shine through in such a pivotal moment. And I wanted it to be it's 5 books of building up to this. A
Yeah.
lot
Mm-hmm.
of pages, a lot of words. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
500,000 words. I think more than that. I think it's like 700,000 words. I wanted it to be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think
It
it was.
definitely was.
I
Yeah.
was sitting there and like I never thought that I would be sitting there laughing while people were torturing these god-awful human beings. I thought it would be, honestly, I thought it would be a lot more emotional and sort
Mm-hmm.
of more like how Romano's was, and she sort of like there was that like massive explosion of like emotions and everything like that, and it just like sort of took over her. But so I was like not nervous for it, but like preparing myself for it. But I didn't, not once did I ever think I'd be sitting there actually cackling out loud.
Well, I can
Yeah.
tell you, not once did I expect Ryder to just be pulling water bottles out left, right, and center, and then all of a sudden he's peeing on them at the end, and I'm like, saw that
That
coming when he started drinking that
that
water.
that was one of my favorite things to
So
include.
funny.
Yeah,
It
Just
Yeah.
was
and
that was
so,
everyone
the
staring
moment.
at him like,
Yeah,
"Are you okay?
he's like,
Why are you drinking so much
no.
water?" And he's like, "I'm fine. What's wrong with you?"
yeah. I
Obviously,
texted
I'm not
Morgan.
okay.
Yeah, I texted Morgan in that moment. I'm like, and Ryder solidified himself as my favorite. And it's like, yeah, right then. Yeah.
One scene that I sort of wish we got was the axe throwing when they were practicing
Same.
their target practice.
I
I was
wish I could see
like,
that.
I was sitting there and I read it before all of them and I was like texting Kylie and I was like, let me know when you get to the axe throwing. And she goes, what? And then so she gets to it and then she goes, oh my God, I need that scene so badly. And I'm like, okay, same, but I didn't want to tell you that I needed to know. So I think that like those scenes also bring levity when they're going to go and do something that
Hard
could
things.
be
Yeah,
so
there's
hard.
something to laugh at too, and like, yeah,
And they can
makes it
bring
not so
joy
heavy.
to each other and like sort of have it not weigh them down too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very much a reflection of the characters. Like the murder scenes are written that way because the
Hmm.
characters are fucking psychotic. Like
Yeah.
they are like a running joke is like Scar's like, I'm not a serial killer. Yes, my girl, you are.
Hmm.
Like she is someone she would not be able to live without murder. So even now that she's gotten her revenge, she would start to go crazy if she couldn't continue to kill people. Like it is a compulsion now. It is something that she needs. She has turned it into something for good, but she is a psycho. Like she
Mm-hmm.
is a serial killer. She is a murderer. She has a screw or 30,000 loose in her head. And I love her for it,
Yeah.
but she laughs. Like she thinks it's funny. She wants to challenge herself. That's the character that I created, and that's what she was born to be. And
Mm-hmm.
she's my little psycho.
She definitely is. Moving on to Scar's daughter, Ro. In the like future scene, it seems like the twins don't actually go to school with Ro and Trevor anymore.
They do not. That is true.
There a reason behind that one?
There are a few reasons behind that one, but that would be spoilers, my love. That would be
Damn it, we'll just have to wait
They
like
are,
everybody
they're very
else.
present. They will be present in her series.
How
I
present?
could
Like,
I could tell you the name of the series.
Okay.
okay, yeah.
So Rose series will be the Sacred Roses, and it's going to be a high school academy wide choose.
Ooh.
Okay.
It will be a wide choose.
Okay.
I will neither confirm nor deny who is in that harem.
I don't need you to confirm nor deny it. I'm just gonna throw out here. I will cry for Kai if he's not at least part of it. This poor boy was so upset when she didn't pick him for Peter Pan. Like he was so upset.
We're just going to
Imagine she
continue that
doesn't pick him
trauma
for that.
forever. She just never picks Kai.
Poor Kai.
Poor guy.
But
Yeah.
they are at least like still close, right?
Yeah.
They will be
In
very
whatever shape or form.
in whatever shape or form, they are very involved in Rose series.
Okay.
Okay.
They are
That's all
very
that
involved.
matters.
As long as they're so close.
They are, yes, they are very
Okay.
involved. All 4 of our babies will have happily ever afters. The babies are never harmed. Okay, I'm a
Thank
cunt,
you.
but I'm not that big of a cunt.
I was
No, we were
terrified.
so scared when like
Mhm.
the car blew up near the house in the last book. We're like, oh my god, no, not the children. No,
No.
we can't have another when Cassie goes missing in Black Hollows and is kidnapped. I can't do it again.
Mm-mm.
I was
Can't do it
rereading
again.
these books and I was like, damn, I'm a fucking dick. Like, what is wrong with me? I said
My
I'm
anxiety
quite a
was
bit
through
where
the
I'm like,
roof.
Oh yeah, my heart was racing the whole time. Like, oh my god.
I mean, good. That's what I wanted.
Yes.
Well, it worked.
It does work. But yeah, no, I mean, the kids, we will see them more when we come back to initially, if you read author's notes, there are lies in mine because I change my mind all the damn time. So Jade's book was supposed to be a standalone. It is not a standalone anymore. It is being turned into a trilogy. So like we will see the kids more in Jade's trilogy. We see the kids in Lennox's book. I think I don't know if you guys all read it. I gave you stuff.
I did.
I'm behind on
we-
my reading and
I
she won't
told
let
them
me,
they
but I
weren't
will.
allowed to read them until they finished their assignments.
Oh, you guys are in trouble.
Mhm.
Well, I will tell you, Lennox has younger siblings.
Okay.
2. Yeah, right? 2. 1. 2. No?
Two.
2.
2? Yes.
I'm
2.
pretty sure it's 2 because I
It
know
is
who
2.
Lennox is, and I remember that being
Yes,
mentioned.
it is
Yeah.
2. It is 2. It is 2.
It is
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
I didn't get that far in my reread. So, Charlene helps babysit her siblings. So
Aw.
we will see the kids in future series. We get to kind of grow up with
Mhm.
them. Not
That'll be
all
fun.
of so not all of the series in the world will be as interconnected as Damaged and Deadly was with Steel
Mhm.
Roses, which is why that book came out in the middle of that series because it was very
Yeah.
I don't know how else to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Very connected. Yeah.
But all of the other series I have planned are not as intertwined. Like Lennox's book takes place after everything in Steel Roses.
Mhm.
Their like background is happening at the same time as some of the books, but it's not really like as tricky with timelines.
Yeah.
So I think like Lennox's series, you will very much be able to go into Lennox's series not having still read Steel Roses. I don't know why you would want to, but
Yeah.
but also that was another thing I think that kind of blew Shattered Chaos up into what it was. A lot of authors do this. A lot of authors add little Easter eggs, add little character crossovers, build all in one same world. And every time I see it, I eat that shit up. But then I'm like, I want more. Why was it 2 pages? Where's the rest of it? Give me more.
Well, the reason why we
Yeah.
read Shattered Chaos was because Scar was mentioned in Fall for Us. We
Yeah,
actually
and we
read
needed
Fall for Us first,
to
and I'm
know.
like, who is Scar? Who are these people? Why? I
Honestly,
love her so much.
that was a convenient choice for me. I'm going to be honest. I was like, what job can I give them? And I'm like, what criminal world do I know? And I'm like, here you go. So that was honestly a convenient choice for me. I didn't intentionally mean for them to be so interwoven. But once I did it, I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah,
But
I'm glad they
the
are because
World of
that's why we found
Chaos
it.
books, I very much wanted it to be like very, very heavily the same world and feel like the same world, even though we're getting different storylines. So like Scar and Cade and Ryder and Ian and Tyler and Holden, very prominent in Lennox's series, because they're their trainers. So Lennox is getting adopted into this. So like I very much wanted them to be present, and you get to know those characters, and I want that for all of the books, including going into the next gen Rose series, which you can kind of see with that flash forward just how involved the parents kind of are
Yeah.
in Still Rose life.
Um,
So
Speaking of like all the kids and like continuations and stuff, will we ever find out who Scar's twins' bio dad is, or do they not even like know?
I don't think they give a fuck. I'm going to be so honest with you. I think we know because Declan is Declan, and he's going to make sure we got their medical histories all squared away. I don't know that it would ever be a plot point. I don't even know if I have it written down anywhere. I know how many kids they have. I got them all named. Got their ages, the age differences. I think maybe it'll probably be like they all have different features. So
You can make assumptions if they
I
have
think you
blonde
can make
hair or dark colored eyes. Yeah.
assumptions.
So they have more kids than just Rowan the twins then.
They do.
Okay.
Did you see how much they have sex?
I mean, that's true. They're rabbits. Yep, that makes sense. Yep.
Girl can't stay dry.
No, no, not at all.
Not in that house.
I love that for her.
Yeah. Well, she's got a shit ton of dads to come and help her, so why the fuck not? You got like
Yeah.
Right?
like
got a
what,
team.
12 pair? You got
A
like
brood.
12 hands? Like you might as well
Yeah.
have a baby for each hand.
Yeah.
That's 6 incomes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like, hell yeah, brother.
You're set.
So
6
yes, they
incomes
do
and they're all
have-
really fucking good incomes.
But yeah, no, I don't know if I'll ever mention it, to be honest with you. There might be little hints. I don't know if I'll ever confirm or deny.
Yeah. Because they don't care. If they're all their dads and that's
They
just
all,
their
yeah,
family,
they don't
just
give a
is
fuck.
what it
They're
is.
the
Yeah.
daddies.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are the daddies.
The daddies.
Bad 80s band name.
So speaking of like the men in this world, what the hell is going on with Mateo? Like our actual note is what the fuck is going on with Mateo?
Like
I don't
I'm
know.
sorry,
We also read the hockey
Westbrook
books
rules.
and we're like, yeah, I'm like, why the hell is Mateo in this bathroom? Like, what is going on with this man?
I don't know if I should be taking him so seriously that I'm like, okay, he's up to something,
Yeah.
Or if I'm like, no, he just wants to have fun and wants friends and is just here to hang out.
Yeah, like I don't know what box to put him in.
Why
Does he
not?
fit in a
Why not both?
box?
Why not both?
Okay. So, okay.
He is him showing up in player problems was intentional. It is a hint. It is a hint. Him showing up in that bathroom was for a purpose, and it is a hint.
Okay.
I won't tell you what. Do that with that what you will.
This wasn't in our questions either. Well, we're talking about Mateo in the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And he gave her that card that said, like if you ever need someone taken out, call me. Is Mateo the one who had her dad taken out in prison?
That would be a very good assumption to make, wouldn't it?
It seems like a really good assumption to make.
Yeah.
It is.
Morgan thought I was a little crazy because she's like, I don't like why would she bother? She doesn't get. I'm like, no, I feel like it has to be. Why would he just mention the card and then it's not important, but then all of a sudden her dad dies in jail? Like it has to be
I will say
Mateo.
Torin did not call him. Torin never made use of that card.
But someone made use of that card. Maybe a big golden retriever man named
I
Baylor.
wouldn't say that. I would say Mateo is creepy enough to sneak into
Stop.
bathrooms.
Right. Yeah, he probably knew.
So-
Yeah. Why am I even thinking? Yeah, of course it's Mateo. Yeah. This man just like.
And this broke national news because obviously, if we have something like that scandal, it's going to break national news.
Wow, Mateo really wants friends. Like
Mateo-
really just wants
he
some
just really
friends.
wants friends, guys. He's just lonely. He wants to be a Rose, but he can't because he's an Alvarado. And they're just like, please love me, somebody. Yes.
So, speaking of all the side characters,
Yes. There's a lot of them.
yes,
Yeah.
our
I feel I was
dear,
like a little insane for that.
but they're,
I liked
but
it.
But I'm
love
attached
it
to all
because-
of them.
Yes.
So I
Mhm.
like I couldn't
Yes.
I couldn't be like, "Oh, yeah, we didn't know," because I'm so attached to all of them.
Yeah.
We did
Every
all
Even
single one of them.
Charles.
Our
Yeah.
dear
I love
beloved gay bestie Charles.
He
Love
getting a
him.
book.
Yeah,
Please tell me he's
Is-
getting a book.
please tell me he's gonna
Um,
find his husband. Scar has 5. He at least can
Please
get
tell
one.
me
He
he won't
deserves
be
one.
another Logan. I was so scared when he was shot. I was like, oh no.
I thought he was definitely getting taken
I was
out.
like, it's Logan all over again. Yeah, I was.
I'm not as mean as Gabby. I'm just not.
Thank God.
I'm a
Thank you
big
for that.
For
softie.
that,
I'm a big
because
softie. I don't have anything planned for Charles currently. It's not off the table. Um, he was a character that took me by surprise. I did not have something planned for him. From Shattered Chaos. That is something that like I kind of thought about, but I wasn't even sure. I wasn't sure if we were going to redeem him. I wasn't sure if Scar was going to forgive him. And I was not sure of that until she did. Like as I was writing it, I knew a lot of things about this series. A lot of other things were completely out of left field. Charles actually was a key reason for my mental breakdown, if I'm being honest with you. Because the idea of forgiving people who didn't intend to do you harm, but maybe did more damage was something that was like cut me off at my knees. I was like, holy shit, I thought that I had dealt with this kind of stuff, and I had not. And Charles was very much a method of me working through the idea of forgiving people who hurt you because they were just not capable of being better, of being more through no fault of their own. They just
Mhm.
were not capable of saving you. And so he was a very tough nut for me to crack. I started writing Beautiful Chaos and then I stopped for 18 months. I couldn't go back to it.
Wow.
And I'm very, very, very proud of his storyline and him and Scar's relationship. And I would love to give him his happily ever after. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know where he fits in to the world post Beautiful Chaos. Because I didn't plan for him. But after I wrote it, I was like, he's Uncle Charles. Like,
Mhm.
he is a
Mhm.
part of the family, and even the guys accept him after they realize
It's not after their girl.
he's not after
Yeah.
their girl. He's not coming back for her. But yeah, I don't really have a story, and I don't really know what he did after. I don't know what happens to Charles after his dad is gone. I'd love to explore it. I'd love to figure it out. But that is something that he is a character that I just don't have figured out yet. But
I
I
think,
would love to write that one
yeah.
day.
I think how, like, his story is so you could anybody could place their self in Scar's shoes with whatever sort of situation and be like, I don't, this person didn't necessarily purposely hurt me, sir, and like their intentions were kind of out of whack. And
Mhm.
their actions were just, but like, no, sorry, their intentions were good, their actions were out of whack. He wanted to help her, he wanted to like do these things and sort of like still whatever. And I think that it's just a very good story of how you can forgive someone and understand how they've changed and they've learned and being able to forgive but not forget.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really beautiful story, regardless of like whatever that person's action was. Feel like almost anybody can put themselves in those shoes and being like, I don't know if I should forgive them. I don't like, right? Like it's,
We've all been hurt. We've all been
yeah.
hurt, and
Mhm.
we've all heard forgive, don't forget. I have forgive, don't forget tattooed on my hip. Um, and actually, I want to get it covered up because I don't believe that anymore. I don't think you have to forgive. And that is a conversation that Ryder and Scar have
Yeah.
when Scar kills Ryder's dad. And she says, like, I don't think some people deserve forgiveness.
Hmm.
Um,
I
and I don't
agree.
think I have to forgive you. And I don't think that means that I haven't moved on or that I haven't healed in the way that I need to. I just think it means fuck you.
Hmm.
And like, you don't get to ask that from me. And so that was kind of like a theme, really, of Deadly Chaos and something that I felt strongly about. And I was really proud of that conversation. I really loved it. Felt really good about it. And then I got to Charles and I was like, well, shit. Because yeah, some people don't deserve forgiveness. But what about the people who cut you deeper than anybody else, but they never meant to, and it wasn't malicious, and it really was just he was as scared of a kid in as bad of a position
Yeah.
as you
Hmm.
were. And and it hurt you maybe more than anything else, like being abandoned by the person that you thought had your back. But realistically, what could Charles have done differently that wouldn't have gotten him killed?
Not
Yeah.
a hell of a
So,
lot.
like,
He was between a
okay.
rock and a hard place, like just
Yeah.
trying to
And he
do
would
the
have
best
been
he
no
could
help
with
to her.
what he had. Like,
Yeah. And if he's dead, he is of no help to her.
Yeah.
So, and if he stands up a little sooner and he dies, and maybe Charlotte never gets a chance to disappear, Scar never gets born.
hmm.
So, because Charles did sacrifice what he could to try and get her a little bit further.
Yeah.
So, that was like, it was, I do think there is a story there. I just don't know what it is. And I don't know if it would be something that is completely separate from a World of Chaos saga, because every series in a World of Chaos is going to, like I said, connect back to pretty much Shattered Chaos. And if not,
Mhm.
definitely Steel Roses. Um, we have Lennox, which is going to be focused on the cage fighting aspect of their empire. So that's kind of what it is. It's each series is going to focus on a different part of their empire. So like Steel Roses is just about them. It's just the background, it's the world building. We get introduced to
Mhm.
so much, but we don't really go into depth on any of it besides the characters, the family. So Lennox's book, we're really going to focus on the cage fights. That's what her book is. When we get to Rachel, we're really getting in. Rachel's getting a series prize, I guess. I don't know if I've announced that.
It's
Mm.
no,
I feel like it's
it
obvious.
is.
I feel like it's
No,
I
it's
think
obvious.
it
in
is.
the
I think it
it's in the
says
end of the last one, and it's called no, actually there is
These
no.
royal
No, because
there
we
roses.
I
had a
lied.
no.
No, there
question
isn't
I
one.
about,
don't know
will
if it
Rachel get a
ever.
story?
Yeah, she will. Rachel will get a story. Her
I
series is
mean,
Royal
kind of
Roses.
obvious.
So Lennox is Bleeding Roses. So it's about like kind of the gang,
Hmm.
the fights. Rachel is her own empire. She's like an honorary rose. So she's the only series that will not be blue. Um, and she is the Royal Roses. And then Dare gets a series. And
So that answers
hers,
another
Yay!
question. So Dare's not actually gonna
I
be
love Dare.
continued, like fully involved in Ian and Jade. It was more of just getting them into the
He was just there for the fun.
yeah.
He was there for the
Okay.
sex.
That's
Yeah.
what we
And
figured, but we
she
had
will
to know
be
for sure.
she will be working at Poison, the new sex club.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
I'm
that will
excited for
be
that. That'll
her
be fun.
series. Her series will be the sex clubs, which I
That'll
do
be
believe
good.
gets introduced in, I think the idea gets introduced in Deadly Chaos.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
early
Yeah,
not
on.
when they
So
poison.
close.
Hmm.
so yeah, so I
Poison's
knew that was
actually,
coming.
yeah, deadly. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was Jade.
So yeah, so Dare's books are Deadly Roses. They're all roses. And then Roe gets a series and she's Sacred Roses. So they're all like the different aspects. And then Jade, obviously, we're finishing her. Hers will be focusing on the mending hearts, human trafficking, that whole
Hmm.
aspect of their empire. So like we see all of their different, we see the clubs, we see the fights, we see
Hmm.
the charity work that they do. And then the other ones will go more in depth. So those are the confirmed series that will be happening.
Have you
So
ever
speaking, oh,
thought about giving like sorry, have you ever
you're
thought
good.
about giving like Ronan Mikey?
And Britt, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yes. I have some notes for them. I think if I do them, it will probably be a short novella because we
Yeah.
already have Britt's backstory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what Mikey and Ronan did. We
Hmm.
Hmm.
already we already kind of know the big things. Um, but I do think it'd be a fun little novella to do that I might do. Probably if it were going to be for anything, it'd probably be for like a charity anthology or something. That's probably what I would workshop is a little spicy novella for them where we
Hmm.
get to know a little bit more about the guys too, because we don't really know
Yeah.
their backstory. We don't know how they actually became involved with Scar and Luca. We just know that them and Joe have been around from since almost the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joe, how the hell did Joe and Charlene get together? Because they seem like
I
so in
love
love and I
them
love them so much,
so
but
much.
complete opposites.
Oh
They
yeah.
And
are
their
very
story I
opposite.
think would be really funny.
That's another one where I'm like, yeah, it'd be fun to do kind of a little novella for them. There's a
Hmm.
few little novella ideas that I would love to poke around and play with and see. Joe and Charlene are another one. I don't know 100% how. I know that they've been together since Charlene was very young. That is her first love. Um, and she just I think that it is a I think they are a very like kind of stereotypical socialite wrong side of the tracks. That's the vibe that I have for them. And she left her family and he took care of her.
Yeah.
And that's kind of and he protected her and sheltered her and she got to live a very sheltered life, but she very much knew what the cost was. And that's, Joe bore the sins of her living sheltered. And that's why she's so okay with it. That's kind of the vibe I have for them, but I don't have any specific backstory on them.
Yeah.
But I
Cool.
do
That's
love
fair.
them. I toyed with the idea of killing Joe, and then as soon as I wrote him,
What?
As soon as I wrote him, I was like, I could never do that. I could never
Okay,
do that.
good.
Yeah, thank you.
Scared
Thank
me.
you
That
for
man,
not killing Joe.
He
that
is
man
in.
deserves to like die of old age
That
peacefully.
would have,
Like,
I think
Can
that would have
confirm
broke
he's in
me.
Rose series. He's in Rose series. So, and Ro
Good.
will be the
oh my
last series
God,
that I write.
Like,
that'd
I
be the
almost want to
last
cry, like,
person.
thinking that
I
Joe
know.
almost died. Like, he could have died. Oh my God,
No,
that scared me.
no.
Yes, when I
Oh
very
my
first, I
God.
was like, it was a thought when I very first introduced him before he really became like Scar's dad.
Yeah, no, Joe
But
has to stay.
He's like my
yes,
comfort person in there, and I'm
He
like every time
really
I see
is.
him,
Like,
I'm
oh,
like,
it's Joe.
oh.
Joe's the one that keeps them from doing dumb stuff. Well, as
Well,
little as you can possibly.
as much as you
yeah,
can.
But yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So speaking of the other series though, Holden, Jade, and Ian, where does Holden, like, is Holden like a part of their story? Like, is this
Is
his?
one of the reasons why I was going to do it as a standalone and a duet because Holden is
Yeah.
a part of it. And I just, and it was really going to be, the duet was going to be Holden's duet. And it was going to
Okay.
be, but honestly, their stories are so intertwined, and Jade and Ian's story is not done. Like that part of it is, the plot of it is, but their relationship
Mm,
really isn't.
yeah.
Um, and so I was like, I think I'd rather forego what constructs it's supposed to look like, and every couple should have their own book. And I feel like this is something that is so intertwined. I'm just going to turn it into a trilogy and have all of the different character POVs in it and have the readers really get to be immersed in all of the characters' perspectives of sorting out this really tough mess. Because the epilogue, in the epilogue of Damaged, I purposely do not say how much later it is, um, to kind of leave that question to be able to be answered in the
Mm-hmm.
next part. Um, but time has passed, and those feelings are still very strong for all three of those characters. And as I was taking notes to start Holden's duet, I just realized you can't have Holden's story without getting Jade's and Ian's story too. They're just too intertwined. So Holden's story will be a part of Jade's story, um, and them kind of figuring out that emotional mess they got themselves into.
Okay. So are Holden and Jade together or they're not together and there's someone else for
They
Holden?
are not together at the end of Damaged and Deadly.
Okay.
I will say that they did not have a lot of time.
No, they did not.
So they did not have the same time to forge a connection, emotional connection, the way that
Mm-hmm.
Ian and Jay did. And the end of Damaged and Deadly is very emotional. It is very, very high emotions for all of our characters. There's a lot of fear going on, and there's a lot of conflicting emotions that maybe some of us kind of rushed into making a decision too quickly.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So do with
Huh.
Huh.
that what you will.
What the hell?
I think I
I
broke
don't
my
know. I don't
Uh,
know. Now I'm not gonna be able to stop thinking about it. I'm gonna be texting Morgan for weeks now. What do you think it could be this? God. Oh
I will
no.
tell you that I am writing Fight for Me right now, the second book for Fall for Us. It'll be Summer's book.
Oh my
And
God.
then after
mhm.
that, I am going back into Jade's story.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So they've been on my mind a lot. They've been on my mind a lot.
So before I
They're
start
on our minds a
asking you
lot too,
exactly
honestly.
what happens, because I feel like my brain's about to explode.
Yeah.
um, Now I know that you gave us a little tidbit of information and you said that it is out there, but for the people who may start be getting into it now, you've talked about the Bleeding Roses and Lennox and everything. Now it is a reverse harem. Can you tell us just a tad bit more about maybe who is there and what's going on and just a little
For
for Bleeding Roses?
Bleeding Roses, so for
Yeah.
Lennox.
Yes.
Yeah, I can because the there was a charity anthology that the first 7 or 8 chapters were in. So, I mean, it's probably on a pirating site if I'm being honest, because everything is nowadays. Um, so I don't feel like it's, and I did some promo for them when it came out, but it'll be Lennox who enters the fights for the first time because she is trying to raise money for her siblings. So she goes to the fights and she finds who but her best friend's older brother and his best friend already fighters at the club. And they've been hiding it from her. What dicks? Absolute dicks. So that would be Dean and Ren, and they are both in her harem. And then our favorite broody, quiet boy, Tyler, is
I love
also,
Tyler.
which
I love
Lennox
Tyler.
does not know that Tyler is a part of this world. They were neighbors until
Mhm.
he disappeared on her without a word, and she is very betrayed by him. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of feels like
So
a Charles situation. We know he was trying to keep her safe and he thought it was best. It's not so much the case for her.
yeah, I'm more forgiving of Charles than Tyler. Tyler, you deserve everything that happens to you
Okay.
in those first few
So we're
chapters.
gonna go through it a little bit, I take it, on
Ah,
that one.
I'm like, I think Morgan knows what I'm talking about.
yeah.
It's
Oh no, she
not
already
really,
knows.
not really.
Morgan, I no longer care about your rules, about I have to finish this and that. The moment we're done this, that's what I'm doing. Okay? Thank you.
Um,
I think I think Charles was a little bit in a tougher position
Yeah.
than Tyler emotionally. I don't think Tyler necessarily did anything wrong. I think he just was trying very hard to treat Lennox as a child when she was no longer a child.
mm,
Yeah.
And I do think like Charles, I don't think Charles messed up. I think Charles did the best he could. Tyler messed up.
Yeah.
Tyler kind
mhm.
of he messed up.
Was treating her like a baby to keep her out of it, and she went into it anyways. And then,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
And then, she ended up in a worse position because you tried to protect her.
yeah, exactly. She would have been
So,
better off like him telling her everything.
hmm
I mean,
and she,
everyone is always better off just knowing. Like, just
yeah.
say it.
Yeah.
So, so yeah. So those are the boys for Lennox.
And you said that Dean and Ren are her best friends. Well, one of them is her best
Yes,
friend's older
Dean
brother.
is her best friend's older brother. There's a year difference between them. And then Ren is Dean's best friend. But the four of them are together a lot of the time doing stupid teenager things.
And how does Tyler get along with Dean and Ren? Like, obviously, he's like their trainer, but how does
Hmm
he feel about them?
We're gonna go through some different phases. He goes from really liking them to
Yeah.
not liking them
Mm-hmm.
so much for a
Yeah,
while.
because he liked them during Shattered Chaos and
Yeah.
stuff, and he was a part of like giving them the cards and everything. But
Yes. He
I
has a
would
lot
take it
of
he wouldn't appreciate maybe the Lennox of it all.
no,
Yeah.
no, I fear not. Tyler he's gonna be very moody about it.
Yep.
So it won't be like an easy, no one is reading books to do research and going into Facebook groups to get recommendations to make sure they all get along. There's no golden retriever here.
Yeah. Can we go back to Rachel and Alex? I don't know about you guys, but when I was reading and Alex died, I was like, did he really die? Like, I don't know. I just feel like I don't
I sobbed writing
Yeah,
that.
I sobbed reading it.
like it was awful,
Yeah.
but I
I almost
have
changed my
hope that
mind.
Awful.
maybe he didn't die.
I
I think it was a little fishy, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
I don't
The way it went
know.
down.
I did intentionally leave it open for questions.
Okay.
Mm.
However, if
Well, I
I
have a
say
lot.
yes or if I say no, that's a spoiler.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
So it is something that I will say by the end of Bleeding Roses, it's been over a year.
Hmm.
He is still
Hmm.
dead.
Right.
And Lennox's book takes place 2 years later, and he is still dead.
Okay.
Whoa.
How many books does Rachel have, though? Because, if her first book
Yeah,
is, but, there could be a gap
there
or
could be a
something.
cat. I will say, here's the thing. Like I said, Steel Roses was supposed to be a trilogy that
Hmm.
then got put on a shelf and I walked away from, and now I've got 6 series and potentially 8 novellas, apparently, with potential for
You're
more
busy.
series coming out of it.
Yeah.
So, and now I'm interconnecting other books to them, to my
Hmm.
contemporary. So,
Yeah.
anything can happen. Uh, roughly, I don't know, I like the number 3. That's my favorite number. So,
See?
roughly, Lennox is supposed to have 3 books, but I have a fourth title just in case. Rachel is supposed to have 3 books, and I don't have another title, so hopefully hopefully I can do it. But Rachel's book will go a lot more into also the stuff I hint at with the Alvarados.
Right.
Okay, I figured because we're probably going to talk about somebody else, right? That has to do with the Alvarados.
I do talk about him a lot, don't I? So it feels like he might be important. But
Just
where will he
maybe.
land?
And what about Nico? Why, like, what's up with him? He's like comes off very dark and douchey. Like, is that just who he is as a person, or did something
Yes.
happen? Okay, okay.
No, he is dark and
That's
douchey. That's
just,
his
I love
thing.
it. Okay.
That is why Scar
So
nicknamed
funny.
him that. He is dark and douchey. He's a fucking dick.
I so agree with how when she called him dark and douchey, and he goes, "It's not the same without Alec laughing," and I'm like, I
I
Oh,
feel
felt the
ya.
same. I'm like, there's no Alec comeback. And I'm just like, oh my God. And
yeah.
then I felt from the moment and I was like cheering for him when he went up to Jade and then, or Jade, when he went up to
Rachel.
Rachel. And then I'm like, like whatever chapters later it was. And all of a sudden you're like, and he's AWOL again? Like, really? Come on, man. I gave
It's
you a
like
chance.
3 years or something, isn't it? Like 2 or 3 years.
Something. I don't know. And then, okay, are Mr. Dark and Douchey and Mateo friends or they're just connected more on like a work
I
basis?
don't think Mr. Dark and douchey has any friends.
Okay.
Hmm.
But I don't think
With that
Mateo does
personality,
either. So,
Mateo is begging for friends.
He's
yeah,
trying.
exactly.
He might
He's
just
trying.
accept anybody at this point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Please.
correction. Would Mateo call Mr. Dark and Douchey his friend, whether or not Nico agrees with it?
No, I don't believe he
Okay.
would.
Okay.
I
Just
don't think even he's that desperate.
okay.
It's okay. Baylor will be friends with anybody.
Oh my God, I love Baylor so much. I'm obsessed with Baylor. I think about Baylor all day long.
I love Baylor. I will say Baylor and Torin are Scar and Cade without the psychopath gene.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
for
gonna say
sure. We said the
normal.
same thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. They're the
Yes.
normal versions of them, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
As I was
as
writing it, I
normal
was like,
as like a version of Scar could be, because Torin's not completely
he's a
normal
little.
either.
I love
She does have a
Torin.
bat named Betty, so
Does have a
yeah.
bat named Betty.
I
We
love
love the
it.
bat though.
We
We
love
love that
we
scene.
love the
The
bat.
bitch with the
And as
bat. Love that.
as much as she makes fun of Baylor for his Taylor Swift obsession, she has a bat named Betty. So
Mm,
Yep.
I'm like, girl, we know.
we're aware.
We
And
are
also
aware.
every time he makes like a little tiny reference that like
Oh,
no
she
one
gets it.
else would pick up, she gets it
Yeah,
every
she
time.
knows.
It's like,
She
mm-hmm,
knows.
okay.
She's like, "Mhm."
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were very much written as like a lighter Scar and Cade because I do just
Hmm.
absolutely love Scar and Cade's relationship. Like I
Cade
love that
is my
relationship.
favorite. Cade is mine.
Kate is my very close second, but I don't know what it is about Ryder.
All
He
those water
has my
bottles.
entire heart. It's something. I don't know what it is. I just love Ryder. I loved Ryder though from the beginning. Like
Yeah.
when he came in, because originally I was like flip-flopping between Kate and Noah, and then Ryder showed up and I'm like, "Oh, no, I like him." And then I just
Yeah.
stuck there. Yeah.
Mine's definitely Noah. It was Kate
Yeah.
and Noah, but then Noah took top for me. But we always have different
We always
favorites.
do, and it definitely fits our personalities
Yep.
for who we pick. Yeah.
I would say even on my team, everybody has different picks for Scar's men.
Well, it's
Yeah.
because
I
you get to
don't,
know them all
I
so
love them
Yeah.
all.
individually.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think there is a clear front runner for a favorite fan favorite.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't think I could pick one. I hear Kate a lot, but I hear Noah a lot. I hear Ryder a lot. I hear Declan a lot. I hear Luca a lot. Gabby will go to war for Luca.
I
Yeah,
know she
I
commented
hate
it on
me.
one, and my response was, "It's okay, Ryder's mine." So we'll just like
You can have
Yeah.
them.
Luca.
yeah.
Not that I don't
So
like him because I love them all
Oh, I love
individually.
them all.
But
Luca was.
Luca is my
I mean,
least favorite.
I don't know what's wrong with you, actually. On that one, I don't know what's wrong with you. See, we
Not that
can't.
I
We've talked
don't.
about this so many times, and we don't agree on anything. Our
Yeah.
lists are like
that's
we don't
fun
match
though. It's
up.
It
Yeah,
is
it
fun.
fun
is. It
though to
makes
have
it fun.
difference. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun to have like I said, I really wanted I didn't want readers to be like, well, we know who the author's favorite is. Like
Hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really did not want my favorite to come across. Like I did not want people to know who my
Do
favorite was.
you have a
have a
favorite?
I don't have a favorite for Scar.
But
Okay.
for
For
Do I
yourself?
you?
have a favorite for myself? Yes. Do you guys want to take a
Yeah.
guess?
Guess. Okay, wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
I'm like, yes. Let's see. Let's see if
I
I
mean,
if I concealed it.
I almost want to say Cade because of like Baylor kind of being like based off another version of Cade, so it makes it feel
Right.
like maybe it is
And Cade
Cade.
was the first one you meet that's like with
Cade
her.
is like the first one, yeah, that's really with her. But
But
yeah,
maybe
I'm going with
Declan, because
Cade.
he kind of saved her. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
I
Declan
don't
kind of
know.
like sneaks in
Brought her
there.
back.
My vote's Cade. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
Spill the
Ryder.
bean.
It's Ryder?
Ryder's my favorite.
See, I knew Ryder
I
was
was
the
gonna
best.
say, but Ryder is so fun
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
brings so much levity to everything, but also is
Hmm.
like
And he got to
totally just
marry Scar. You
understands
know
her.
what? That should have
Yeah,
been the hint.
you
He
know
married
what?
Scar.
He
Yeah.
did. Okay, I
In the
will say
little bit.
though, I had to check myself so hard on that. I was like, okay, am I doing this because Ryder's my favorite and I want him to marry Scar? Or am I doing this because the jokes are endless?
No,
But
it's
And
also,
it
I couldn't see anyone
perfect.
else being okay with being married to Ryder. Because, like,
no,
Kate and
it
Noah
is.
have to be married to each other, like,
No, the
obviously.
Yeah.
husband
And then,
jokes are just so funny.
yeah,
And Declan and Luca being married
Is
it's the best thing
is
the
ever.
funniest
honestly
thing.
one of the
The
funniest
best
things I've
thing
ever read.
ever.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
It's
so
when she
I
finds
so
out and
funny.
Kate is like, oh my God, that
Yeah.
was,
I
yeah.
really checked myself on that. I had multiple conversations where I justified it because I was like, okay, well, like if these two people were married, if these two people were married, like what would that dialogue look like? What would the
Mm-hmm.
outcome be? And I also think like while they all are very good at sharing Scar, Ryder is the only one that can be married to her. And I think it not cause a little bit of fights
It
Yeah.
that
would
have a
Yeah.
little
If
bit
it
of
was
inflate.
truth to them.
Declan, Luca and Cade would have a heyday. If it was Noah, uh,
Cade's
Ryder would
ego would
probably
be
have a
way
heyday.
through the roof that his head would actually explode. There's
Oh yeah,
absolutely no
Cade.
way.
It could never be Cade.
Oh,
Luca
Never
would
be Cade.
probably actually
Luca would
kidnap
just kill
her.
the rest of them off,
Yeah.
yeah.
probably,
Yeah,
and like
like
be in
it's
a cave in the middle of the woods somewhere. Like, yeah,
they're
no, it
all
had
a
to be
little
Ryder.
too big-headed and
Yeah.
Yes.
egotistical and possessive for it
Yeah.
to not go to their head. Even
Yeah.
Yeah.
sweet Noah, because
Yeah.
he's the one
Oh
who's
yeah.
dominating. He would be like,
Hmm.
She's
my
my
wife,
wife. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
my
my
wife.
wife.
Yeah.
My. Whereas Ryder, it's more like jokey. Like he just
Ryder's like,
wants to
I'll lick
piss you
your
off
dick
for
if
a
it's in her.
second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
honestly, like Kate and Noah being married is hilarious.
it's just
Like,
so funny.
It's
it's
so
so
funny, and
funny.
it
It's so funny.
makes the scene from earlier on when they're at the thing and Cade has to save Noah from that girl and he calls her his husband. It makes it so much funnier
I
when
went
you go
back
back.
and reread that
Yeah,
right after I found out they were married, and it's like I just love it.
Yeah.
it makes
So
it so
it
much
was
better.
honestly, I Ryder is my favorite, but I think Ryder is my favorite because he is Scar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he is.
We don't get to see Scar's transformation, but we get to see Ryder's. And I
Mm-hmm.
think every single one of them mirrors a piece of Scar. Every single one of them has like a tie to her that nobody else has.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so, but Ryder just is her. Like
Yeah.
the part that he reflects is her transformation, which as readers, we don't get to see. And as an author, I didn't get to write that. I didn't get to explore it. Like, yeah, I know it happens, but we see snippets of her as the fallen prom queen. We don't ever get to see her as the prom queen. We
Mhm.
see
Hmm.
her as the fallen prom queen. We see her as a child, and then we see the aftermath. We get very little of her as the fallen prom queen. And I did actually, I like when I was writing it, I was like, do I put flashbacks in to show some of the transformation? Like I had an idea in my head, like I could see it in my head of her like crying and dyeing her hair black in a motel bathroom. Like I had those moments where I was like, do I fit this in? Do I do I put in? And those were kind of the darlings that I had to kill. Of that's not what the story is. That's not where the story goes. That's in the past. And that is another thing that I would maybe one day like to write is kind of the early days of Luca and Scar starting up, and how they got to where they were. But that was not this story. And these
Mm-hmm.
stories are already wordy and thick and full of stuff. Like I could not have also included flashbacks of that stuff. And I will say, Shattered Chaos was my very first debut novel. I had never written a book before. I was not a strong enough author to do more with it than what I did. I think there's a lot of things that I would change. Not necessarily details, but the writing of it, how I wrote it. There are things that I would change now that I am a more seasoned, better author.
Right.
To have the story flow a little bit better, the understanding be a little bit better, the timeline be a little tighter and a little clearer. I know like some readers do have a hard time following the timeline. Um, I don't even think I wouldn't start the story where I started it. I think I would start it in a different place.
Really?
Um,
Would you start it
yes,
later or earlier?
I think I would start it later.
Oh.
Hmm.
Um, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I already did it, and I love so much at the beginning that it
Hmm.
is hard. But I think I maybe would have taken the moments and done them differently. Um, but yeah, I think I would have started it in a different place. If I was going to start this story now, I think I would start in a different place. So the real story kicks off a little faster. Um,
Oh, okay. Like with the whole like her revenge from Mono and all
with
of
the
that.
revenge and I think
Mm-hmm.
I would blend things a little bit more because this series very much is the first book is like background character introductions. The second
Hmm.
book is very emotional. The third book is sex and gore and really the violence, and then the fourth book really is the resolution. Which
Hmm.
there's a
Mm-hmm.
niceness to that. There is a
Hmm.
but I think now I could interweave a little bit better. I think I could have the revenge be weaved in with the emotional development a little bit better. I created a very big world and I did not really have as many skills to. So yeah, I do think with Ryder though we get to see that journey of how he
Mm-hmm.
goes from broken down, lowest point in his life, to Psycho. And I mean, we see it with Jade too, but Jade doesn't it doesn't knock her crazy, you
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
know? Like what
Yeah.
happened to Scar knocked her crazy. It screws were loose. She is no longer a functioning member of normal society.
Yeah.
Jade could go back and be a functioning member of normal society if she so chose. Scar could not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, Ryder could not. So he matches her crazy. He matches her
Yeah.
Mm.
crazy, and we get to see that transformation, and that's kind of why he became my favorite.
It's okay. I love Ryder too. In your face. I'm just
Unhinged.
kidding. Um,
He's
but
unhinged.
speaking of our other favorite um male, which is Baylor, I think that we can agree on is that we love Baylor. How did you decide to what made you decide to write the Westbrook Wolves series, like go into contemporary?
I
Contemporary.
Oh yeah, contemporary. There's still a little darkness in there, but
Yeah.
there's a thread. Um, I read everything. I'm a very much a mood reader, so I want to write everything. There are a
that's
lot
fair.
of ideas that I have that are genuinely all over the place. And one of my fears with doing so much with my very first series was I was like, I don't want to get pigeonholed into people only
Hmm.
wanting this from me. And so it was intentional. I also needed a break after Beautiful Chaos. I was like, it was that series is it's very emotional. Like it is
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
very heavy. And I wanted to do that justice. I wanted it to not be something that was touched upon. I wanted it to be something that if somebody struggled with PTSD, struggled with anxiety, struggled with recovering from sexual assault, um, or grief, or any of those things that our characters deal with, I wanted them to read these books and be like, wow, somebody gets it.
Yeah.
Like somebody feels the way that I feel. Um, and that is heavy. And so I wanted
Mhm.
to turn around and I wanted to write something fun and I wanted to write something light. And I've always loved hockey romances. I've always loved sports romances. I had the idea for Baylor and Torin. They were my idiots to lovers. Fun
Oh,
fact,
it's the
the
This
Oh,
funniest.
is
they're idiots,
prologue,
all right.
the prologue of that book is based on a real story that happened to me.
Okay,
Okay, we
that was
wanted
our
to
next
ask about
question.
that. Like,
It is, it
what
is
the
true.
heck?
I was thrown into a bush and I wasn't wearing pants.
the
Scarred me for life.
Oh yeah, she hasn't read the hockey books
No,
yet, so
but
she
You
what?
doesn't
guys
know
have
any of
told
this story at
me.
all.
Yes.
Yes,
I
I was breaking up with a guy and his ex-girlfriend who was psychotic. They're still together, mind you. Showed up at my house, didn't even know her. Just tried to hit me with her car. And then he
what?
like threw because we were standing in the street outside my house and he like threw me out of the way. And yeah, I landed in a bush and I like wasn't wearing pants because it was 2 o'clock in the morning.
God.
So was it like really like pretty much word like exact for what you wrote?
It was exact for what I wrote, minus the names. I changed the names.
Well, yeah.
And
Yeah.
the inner monologue didn't match what I was thinking. I was very much like, fuck this, I'm done, you're crazy. But I did think it was a funny story and I did think
Hmm.
it belonged in a book. And so I was like, I could actually like put this as like a reason if I change the inner monologue to it being like a really bad experience for her, and losing a best friend. He was my friend. Like we were friends. We'd been friends for a long time. Uh, the guy in real life, but we weren't as close as like the book
Yeah.
is. So like I changed it to fit my narrative,
Yeah.
that I needed to fit for Torin and for her lack of wanting to be in a relationship. But the details of the actual almost getting hit by a car and ending up in a bush, fucking ass first, all correct, all
I
accurate.
absolutely loved how you wrote that
Yeah,
because,
transitioned.
and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it was like, and that's how I ended up in a bush, and that's why I don't date. And it's just like, that was just a story she was telling.
Yeah.
I thought she would
Yeah.
somehow end up with that
Yeah, I
man,
thought it was
or
gonna be that
like,
guy or
or
something
like,
was
Yeah.
gonna
and I was like,
happen or
and I just absolutely loved that because it makes you picture it so perfectly, and then all of a sudden you're just like, yeah, I'm here at the
Oh,
party just telling the story, and you're like, oh, that
okay.
was really
yeah.
cool. I actually had never read anything that has like done it like that. Normally, if they're telling stories, it's actual dialogue of them telling the story or whatever. But I honestly, I
This
thought
felt
that
more
was,
fun.
yeah, it was a
It
lot.
It
It
felt
was
was
a
more
lot of
really
fun.
fun.
fun. I loved it.
So that is kind of what inspired the story, though. Like I was on a phone call with my friend and we were talking about it, and she was just like, "Dude, you need to put that in a book. Like it's so funny." And I mean, this happened over 10 years ago, so I'm like, who's it going to impact? Like nobody's
Yeah.
going to know. Um, so and then we were on the phone and we were just like talking about like, okay, well, what could the story be? And I was like, well, we could do this, we could do this. And I mean, I was plotting it while I was still writing Steel Roses.
Oh,
And
okay.
so that's the thing about me. I've got 30 whips, and not all of them will spin like day. I love to start a new project while I'm supposed to be doing other things. That's kind of how that one started. I think that is why so much of like Scar and Cade's personality traits are still in there. I think I wanted like a break from the dark and heavy and kind of just like this fun, really light the best parts of their relationship, but still have that really beautiful found family and like closeness, um, emotional closeness in the relationship. And then I knew it was going to be a sport. And I was like, okay, well, like, what sport can I do? And hockey was really big at the time. And I was a little hesitant to do hockey because of how big it was. And it was kind of on the tail end of it. So I was like, this might not be a good time. Like, it's kind of a little oversaturated. But Gabby was writing her hockey and she was like, please, please, please. She was like, do it. And I was like, well, hockey does fit the guys' characters, like the guys in the house. Like I knew a lot of their personalities already, and I knew there was going to be this group chat, like talking about them. And I was like,
So funny.
it feels very much like a hockey thing. Um, they are so playful, like stereotypically. They are so playful. They are so just kind of non-serious. And so I was like, all right, I'll commit to the bit. So we ended up doing hockey and as I was writing, I just couldn't help adding in a little touch of darkness because that's who I am at my core.
Yeah. That's why I go contemporary
Yeah.
because
It is
Yeah,
a
you know.
little dark in there.
it's a little dark. And then
I
as far
think
as like
Blue Liner
Baylor's
Betrayals,
storyline,
well, I mean,
There was
Blue Liner
still
Betrayals, but
aspects
not
to it.
as much.
Not
I
as
don't think
much,
it's.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Blue Liner Betrayals is more contemporary.
Yeah.
That one is more exploring a little bit of like that transition stage between like
Yeah.
really teen and going into an adult and
Mm-hmm.
realizing that friendships that you thought were good for you aren't really good for you. And it's a little bit more coming of age, I think. Like
Yeah.
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 I feel.
I know Mateo pops in player problems, but will there be a little bit more crossover with like the St. Graves Roses world or
For that series, I do not believe so. I don't think
Okay.
so. I didn't even realize it was Mateo at first. And then as I was writing the interaction at the bar where he's kind of flirting with Torin, I was like, I texted Gabby and I was like, I need you to go read this scene that I just wrote. And she's like, why? And I was like, because I fucking love this guy. And like, he's somebody. I was like, I don't know who he is, but he's somebody. And she was like a new character. And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, I just wrote him. Like, I feel like I was possessed. And I was like, and I know that he's somebody. And then she was reading it and she was making comments and I was rereading it as she was reading it. And then I texted her again. And I was like, I think I know who it is. And she was like, I think I know who it is. And I was like, you think it's Mateo, don't you? And she was like, it's absolutely Mateo. And I was like, I think I know why he's there. And so I was like, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. So sometimes it is like that. Sometimes my characters do kind of take on a life of their own. Um, Sometimes I genuinely disassociate when I'm writing and I don't remember what I wrote. I feel like my characters sometimes possess me. Like I know that sounds like an absolutely crazy thing to say, like somebody get her in a straitjacket, but my characters talk to me. They feel like real people, and sometimes I am not in charge and they are in charge.
well, if it makes you feel any better, I feel like your characters are actually real people in my life, and I
Yeah,
probably
same.
think about like Baylor once a day, and then I think about Cade like once a day, and they're real people, and I just wish I could actually talk to them.
Hold them.
So, yeah,
Like they all deserve hugs.
I
I want to
know.
be in the group chat though. I want to be
Yeah.
there for all the idiots trying to get in relationships and trying to figure out what's going on. And oh my God, in the second book, when Torin keeps removing Tate from the group chat and Baylor thinks he's this god to relationships, and oh my
They're all
God, no.
confused why she keeps removing Tate, and
They're like,
she
why
keeps
are
like,
you deleting Tate? And Bo. Oh my God, just Bo, just in general. I love Bo so much. I think when he gets a book,
yeah.
he would might beat
I think
out
that's the one that we might agree on.
Baylor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might beat out Baylor.
they're just such a fun group of characters. Like I
Mhm.
They
just
really
had
are.
so much fun with them. In a very different way than I had fun with Steel Roses. Um,
A little bit lighter.
it's a whole lot lighter. But it's still very real. It's
Yes.
still very
Yeah.
real. It still deals with, I think, very common issues that maybe don't get
Mhm.
talked about enough. Um, but yeah, just their whole dynamic as a friend group
So
is
funny.
so fun
It's
to me.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I love Torrin's grandma too. I love that
Oh
woman
yeah.
so much.
Oh yeah. I will say I do want to one day give Canyon a book, Torrance little brother. Yeah.
Please.
I don't know what. I don't have
Please.
anything planned for
Pretty
him yet.
please. Pretty please a
I don't have.
Oh my
We'll
God.
do all the promo.
shirt.
I do. That is another one. I'm like, but this is what I mean. Like I read everything, so I want to write everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, I don't know, I think I'm a little intentional when I name characters. Like I was very intentional when I named Canyon, Rain, and Torin. Like I wanted Canyon and Rain to have names that visually looked good with Torin. So I wanted them all to have that Y. I wanted them all to end in that N sound. But then I loved the name Canyon and I loved the name Rain so much. And I was like, okay, so they're getting books, I guess, because I love those names. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have so many ideas all the time. Like I always have ideas of like, oh, I should write this or I want this type of character. So a lot of the time that is how things happen. I'm like, I want to write a character like this, and I want to write something like this, and I want to write a book with this. And then all of a sudden it just clicks in the back of my mind. And I'm like, oh, I could have the badass FMC who also is closed off emotionally, who also has a very interconnected world with lots of books and lots of characters. And I can do that all as one. And then that's how Scar was born. So I know that I do kind of want to do something with that. And I already have a joke written for Baylor in Canyon's book. So it'll happen eventually.
Speaking of future books and for the Westbrook Wolves, now you've said that Colby is the next book. Is there a
Yes.
reason why you haven't said her MMC? And is it possibly because she might have two of them?
Or is it because she might have one and you don't want to give away which one?
It is because Westbrook Wolves, all of the main characters live in the same house, and neither of the potential MCs that you are thinking of lives in that house. Now, does Colby live in that house? Not yet.
Okay, wait. What men live in that house? Hold on, brainstorm session here. There's
Xander,
Bo
Bo, Wells, Baylor, James.
and James. So James and Bo.
James is no, and I.
But at the same time, I don't think Bo because I think Bo's love interest is actually Tate. So,
So whoever's book it is lives in the house.
Oh, I see. I get it. Okay.
okay, wait, Colby's gonna move into the house though, then, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's where we're working. Okay.
So that is why it's
But is
Colby's book,
it
because
two
Colby will be
people?
moving into the house. Undecided.
Okay.
It is undecided.
And then maybe what
I
about
will
what she just said about Bo
say
and Tate?
Oh yeah, that comment I made. We have no patience. In
I
case you
see
can't
that.
tell.
I do see that. Um, I mean, anything's possible. Bo's very straight though. So
Um, he
Bo
just,
is
he
very
gives like
straight.
he could be a
He's
little
very
fruity.
playboy. Very
Hmm.
playboy. So I don't know. But yeah, Colby's book is next. Colby will be moving into the house. And
That's
then
fun.
Bo's book will be the last book for Westbrook Wolves.
Yeah.
So he'll be last. Okay.
So James does not get a book in Westbrook,
Hmm.
but there will probably be an NHL professional spin-off series that will have James in it. He'll probably
That'd
be
be
the first
fun.
book.
I'm assuming Colby probably takes over James's room because
Mhm.
yeah.
He's leaving.
He's leaving. So that's why it's Colby's. And everything, I have ideas. I think I know where it's going, but I'm not fully committed. I think once I start writing, oh, well, I have started writing, but once I fully get into the actual breakdown of the interactions with the characters,
Hmm.
um, I think Colby's book is going to hurt more. It is not as light as the others. I was like laughing with Gabby. I was like, I'm gonna do like a bait and switch. We got these two like really funny, silly, goofy books. And I mean, there will still be elements. There will still be elements. And I mean, there will be big spoilers when I announce her tropes. Like the tropes are very spoilery. Um, but I decided to go back to Damaged and Deadly. I decided to go back to dark romance, that world. Um, Steel Roses still sells better
Mm.
Yeah, fair.
than Westbrook does. B, people have been waiting for a lot longer than they've been waiting
Hmm.
for Colby's book. And C, it I didn't intend for Fight for Me and Fall for Us to tie back into Steel Roses, but it did. So it's a nice gateway back into that world.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know
Um,
when I'll write Colby's book.
yeah. Switching over to Fall for Us.
Yes.
What inspired Fall for Us? And I'm currently reading this book, and I just got to the haunted house scene. So
Okay.
curious how you came up with that as well.
Okay.
And the pigs.
Oh my God. Based on a true story. Um,
That
Fall
I
for
wasn't
Us was
expecting.
inspired because I was at work one day and I had this thought. I don't know if you guys have ever heard like the joke made. I feel like we make it a lot like, oh, if you want to impress a girl, you just have to read her books. And
Hmm.
so like
Hmm.
that's just like a sentiment that like you see, you hear, we joke about it, we laugh, hee hee ha ha. And I was like, well, I read some pretty fucked up shit. And
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny. And I was like, that's a dark rom-com. And so I don't remember who I sent it to. I sent a voice message to one of my members on my team and I was like, hear me out. Like I know I don't have time to write this right now, but just like hear me out. And I was like, dark rom-com. And I was like, college students. He really wants to ask the girl out and she's like not interested, but he hears this like, he sees a TikTok or like he sees people talking about like, oh, well, like if you want to find out what a girl likes, like read her books. Like if she's a romance reader, all you got to do is like it's like a blueprint of how to win a girl. And he's like, okay. And he sees her reading a dark romance book and is like, I guess I'm into it. And I just thought that concept was fucking funny. Like I'm just gonna be so honest. I just thought it was funny and I thought it was amusing.
I love
And
it.
I started writing it. It was going to be an MF. Like I was just going to do an MF. And then I started writing it after I had written Westbrook. And I think I was like, I kind of miss White Shoes. And I was like, how can I turn this into a White Shoes? And I was like, brothers, obviously. And then I just really wanted it to be kind of like tongue in cheek, kind of poking fun at dark romance. So I wrote
Yeah.
it around a lot of stereotypes of dark romance that pushed the plot forward a lot. I wrote a lot of like specific jokes. So I wrote to the joke. It's it's funny to me when that's like someone's first book they read of mine because it is very different writing process for me. Normally I'm very character driven. And my characters fully drive my story. And I don't feel like Fall for Us, that is the case. Fall for Us was written for the joke. And I think that's why it's a dark rom-com.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, but it was a very different process for me. As far as the haunted house goes, it is actually based on a real haunted house that we have here in Southern California.
Oh
Um,
my God.
and I have never done it. I have seen videos of it. But we also here have Universal Studios.
Mhm.
And I grew up going to Horror Nights. And Horror Nights, they do different mazes. And the different mazes have different rooms that you have to like walk through. And I used to get absolutely obliterated and then go to Horror Nights as a menace to society back in the day. And I will never forget. I don't even remember what movie it was because they're usually based on whatever scary movies that year. But we walked into a room and it smelled god awful. And there were just these giant hanging pigs that we had to like push and walk through. And they
Ew.
felt real. There was no like actual blood on them. I like added that for the story, but it smelled so real and bad in there. And like having to push them out of the way was genuinely one of the worst experiences of my life.
Disgusting.
And so I was like, as I was doing research for the book, I wanted it to be Halloweeny. I also just thought I decided to add the Halloween bits into it just because it felt right and also kind of like a little okay, this makes it for a fun marketing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like it fit with the storyline really well and it gave them something to do. And also Halloween is in like every single one of my series. I love Halloween. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you guys caught on to that.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely did. Yeah.
It was just to
French
me, I was
fries.
immediately I was like dark rom-com, Halloween. And yeah, so I fit it. I just added that in there. So yeah, unfortunately, that specific pigs hanging from the ceiling, real
It's
life
real.
experience.
That's crazy.
Yeah, disgusting. Don't recommend. Haunts me to this day, 10 years later.
Yeah, I bet.
I would be West in
Oh,
that.
no, me too. Yeah. I was reading it and I'm like dying laughing at him, but I'm like, but I would be
But
you if I was
that
in that
has
haunted house.
that is me. I have held on to my friend in front of me and closed my eyes and just said, "Walk me through it." I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a friend during, I think it was that same maze. She grabbed onto me and we bolted through the rest of the maze. And I was just tripping, stumbling, trying not to fall on my face behind her.
Yeah.
And then we got out and we were both just like, and we like left our group of friends behind us and they're like, okay, are you guys good? We're like, now we are.
Yeah. Now
Oh
the
my
fuck
God.
out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
no.
that was a mix of watching videos from a very specific crate, and I literally went and looked at their waiver to see like I read through their waiver that they have online to get like ideas for what they go through in that maze.
Oof,
Crazy.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't think I was gonna say I don't think you could pay me to do that, but you absolutely could pay me to do it. I'm gonna be so honest. I would take the
Yeah.
bet.
So, speaking of Fall for Us, we kind of thought when we were reading it, maybe Cole and Summer would get together, but it doesn't necessarily seem that might be. Is it? Is she in a reverse? Is Summer with one person or multiple people? I'm going to start there.
Well, her best friend gets 3. It seems a little unfair if she only gets 1.
And she loves the fact that there's multiple of them.
I love
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
She stole the show. She
I
I
really
really
love
did.
I
her.
honestly,
love Summer.
Berlin was supposed to be more like Summer because I feel like Summer is a very typical dark romance reader personality, and that's what
Mhm.
Yes.
Berlin was supposed to be. But then as I was writing Berlin, it just like that's her personality just kind of took shape on its own. But I do think that Berlin is like another type of dark romance reader. You
Mhm.
know, she is the more
Yeah.
quiet, introverted one.
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, Summer stole the show. I think like every single review I saw was like, so when's Summer getting a book?
Yeah.
And I won't
Yeah.
lie, it was actually I wanted it to come out in January, and that just didn't happen. It's really hard for me to. I don't have a lot of time to write. It's really hard for me to get a book out every 3 to 4 months.
Mhm.
So hers is going to be loosely Valentine's Day themed. I don't care if that shit comes out in April. Like it will still be loosely Valentine's Day themed. I don't
Love
care.
it.
It's
We'll
fine.
still love it.
I wanted it to come out in time for Valentine's Day, but that's not going to happen. It still will be loosely Valentine's Day themed. And she'll come out when she comes out. That's why there's not a pre-order up. So I don't have to stress
Fair.
about it.
Will she be coming out with Cole, though? Is Cole involved in that? Maybe.
Yeah. A great question.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's involved.
It really is.
He
Okay,
is.
good. Good.
Cole
Good.
was
I'm
I
glad.
love him.
much
I feel
against
like
his will.
yeah, I feel like
honest.
Cole had to be involved in so many different ways. For one, Summer probably really wants to be related to Berlin, and now they they're with people that are
I,
related.
I don't think Summer's that deep. I think she thinks he's hot.
Fair.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's just hot uncle to Summer. She don't give a fuck.
She
Well,
seems
he's
like that
West
type of girl.
Uncle, so it makes sense.
That's
But
hot uncle. Funny story. His name was something else. I can't remember what it was now. And I changed it because my best friend in real life had a like hot like a hot 50-year-old hitting on her. And I was like, Daddy?
Oh my
And
god.
me and Gabby were just fucking roasting her for it. And we were just like, you have to fuck him. Like, and she's like, you guys, he's so old. And I was like, he's hot though.
Who cares?
And his name was Cole. So I was like, I'm changing the hot uncle's name to Cole. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, fucking watch me.
That's awesome.
So his
how
name was
much
something
older
else.
is Cole than like Summer and all of them?
Great question. I did work that out somewhere. Let me see. I have my Google notes open because I watched your guys' interview with Gabby and I knew you guys asked these type of questions. And I don't know if
She never did get back to us on what car. Um, why am I blanking on what his name is?
Oh yeah, she didn't get back to us on what
No.
car Hart Hayden. Damn. Oh my God. It starts with an H.
There's a 14-year age
Hayes?
gap between
14.
him and
Okay, that makes
14?
sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad. I was thinking like
So
25.
yeah, no, Cole took custody of the boys when they were 9 and he was 23.
Oh, okay.
So there's like a 14-year age gap there. That's what I have
Okay.
it as in my notes.
That's not
God,
bad.
I could not imagine.
I know someone in a 14-year age gap, so it's okay.
I could not imagine being 23 and having to all of a sudden take care of 3 kids.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, and that's where, we get kind of more on that backstory
Mm-hmm.
and Fight for Me of like how that relationship came to be and why the guys thought that he just really didn't give a fuck about them when he very clearly did. Like by the end of the
Yeah.
book, you're like, he does care. Like obviously he cares, but it is, that's part of the reason why it's because he was so young. He wasn't capable of
Yeah.
taking in 3 9-year-olds, and I have a 9-year-old. Actually, no, I don't have a 10-year-old. He's fucking crazy.
I had 2 more of them.
Yeah, 3 of them. When he has
Yeah.
sleepovers, I'm like, you guys, please. I feel my hair turning gray. And I'm not 23.
I was gonna say, you don't
Yeah.
look old enough to have a 10-year-old.
I had him when I was 20, and I also just look young for my age.
You really do. I'm like looking at you and you look like you're like 23.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, I'm 30, almost 31.
Oh, wow. Well,
Um,
you'll be one
my
of those
mom
people that
looks
is
young.
like 60 and they're like look like 40. So,
Yeah.
That's my mom. My mom looks really young. My grandma looks really young. So my
Nice.
sister,
Got good genes.
yeah,
yeah.
my little sister looks like she could still be in high school. She's 27. So even my older sister does not look like she's in her mid 30s. Like we all kind of just have like rounded baby faces. Like we just
That's
Mm.
lucky.
look little.
Cute.
But yeah, no, people always think they're like, my kid is tall. He's only like 3 or 4 inches shorter than me now.
Oh,
Oh.
what?
Wow.
So his whole soccer team was like, why does your sister always bring you to practice?
Oh my God.
My mother.
That's my mom. And he's like, Mom, why do they think you're my sister?
Like,
You're gonna be
because
the MILF.
I'm
I'm
a MILF.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the
I'm like,
MILF.
you think it's funny right now. Unfortunately, in just a couple of years, you're going to hate me for it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah,
You will be known as
I'm
his friend
so
group's MILF.
sorry.
I think
yeah.
every male friend group has that. I
Mhm.
remember one clearly from high school.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that his friend group is like kind of similar to his friend group now because he plays a lot of sports and we have a lot of the kids. Oh, we're the house that everybody always comes to because every day that he's not in school, I'm texting everybody down the list like, "Can I have your kid? Please let me have your kid so he'll entertain my kid and I can do
Yeah,
anything but go shoot basketball hoops for the next 3 hours."
fair.
And so people, a lot of his friends have siblings. So I'm just hoping that like because a lot of these kids have grown up with me since they're like 6, that it's just kind of like that's weird. That's your mom, you know?
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah,
what
that's
Mm,
fair.
that's what I'm hoping.
Not in
Don't
my
don't burst my
friend group
bubble.
from high
Don't burst my
school.
bubble.
I'll tell you right now, these kids went to kindergarten together and they still called her the MILF. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
bursting my
my
bubble.
brother's friends have been around since they were like 4, and they're all like 17 now, and they still call my mom the MILF. So I think you might not be out of the woods on that one.
Damn. A girl can hope.
I mean,
Because
it's not the worst thing.
It's
I
not the
don't
worst thing.
know if you guys have caught on to this. I'm not very great at being an adult. I think things are
Neither
funny.
are we.
I'm very
We aren't
amused
good adults either.
by
No.
everything. It gets a little worrisome when you're put in charge of children because one of my son's friends literally was in the back seat and he was like, WTF? And I fucking cackled. Lost my shit. Thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
And he was saying things and I was like, dude, I know your mom. Like, stop that. I have to tell, I'm like, I'm the responsible one here. That means I have to tell your mom that you're saying these things, even though I think they're really funny. Like, you guys are still a little too young for me to say that it's okay. Please stop making me be responsible. Like, I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
We'll see, I guess. I got a few years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you have a few years. Yeah.
As long
Um,
as you're the good, fun, hot mom, who gives a shit?
Like, I
mhm,
got the food, guys. Like,
Yeah.
exactly.
come over, eat the food, leave me alone. We're all good.
Yeah.
Hmm. And speaking of fun, good hot moms, did Scar and Berlin stay in contact?
Did Scar and Berlin stay in contact?
Yeah.
They don't not. I guess it's not really a spoiler. I guess kind of is. They all moved to California.
Mm,
So we see a bit more of the Bleeding Roses in Fight for Me. I won't say
interesting.
there is still a line between
Hmm.
them. It's almost more like the guys work for like Mikey and Ronan.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
that was my next question. Like,
That
how
makes a lot of
involved
sense,
are
actually.
they? Like,
Yeah,
so
so
obviously enough to move there.
they moved to Southern California, and that's where Summer's book starts. Is after the move, Summer decides to move with them. Um, and yeah, we see a little bit of the work, but Cole has been very much like, I'm going to rest on my own laurels. Like, I don't want my power to be tied to someone else's because if my power is tied to someone else's, they can take it away as easily as they can give it to me. So he has made a name for himself from kind of being a neutral party of he doesn't answer to anyone, but you can hire him. He's like a gun for hire with no loyalty ties. Um, and that's kind of how when the boys started, that's kind of how he told them to be. Um, but with how they kind of connected at the end of Fall for Us, Scar was very intrigued by them and like
She
very
wanted to keep them.
we know how Scar is when she
Mm-hmm.
wants something. And so yeah, it wasn't intended, but then I was like, I kind of this is just kind of where it's going. Um so they are, but they're not going to become like a World of Chaos series, if
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um they are around. Uh you may see them in other books, but they're not going to play a heavy role. They more just like take jobs from Scar, and it's like, well, this is steady work. And Scar is kind of like, we'll give you steady work, and you don't have to be a bleeding rose. We'll kill you if you go against us, but like,
Mhm.
you
Mm-hmm.
don't
Yeah.
have to be one of us. You don't have to be, because Scar is kind of, she just likes collecting talent. She likes collecting people.
Yeah.
She really
So,
does.
and she knows how far to push. And so she's like, well, if you guys move here, there's good opportunities.
Yeah.
So, and like I feel like for her, Cole has probably been someone that she's always wanted to have her clutches on. And he's always
Hmm.
managed to just be like, nope, I'm neutral, I'm neutral. And so now she's like, yeah, well, I got your nephews, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not like a huge plot point or anything. I think it was just kind of a, oh, wow, well, this actually really makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't know how to properly frame this. I understand what you mean by like they're like completely they're not completely separate, but very much like I want to be on my own, but I really like you and I like working with you. And it's sort of like Rachel, just without that like emotional aspect of it. She is separate. She is
Yes.
still herself. Yes, they are tied together, but that's more so in like a friendship emotional level rather than business. But because the boys don't have that emotional level with her, it's virtually the same thing.
Yes. It is.
Yeah.
It's similar to that. I would just say Rachel has her own empire,
Hmm.
whereas the guys don't really have their own empire. They have skills.
Yeah.
They have skills for
Mm-hmm.
hire. And so Scar's like, well, I can hire you.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
now another thing to really like consider though is now that they have left their home base where they did kind of collect that power, but what was their power based on? Their power was based on favors and secrets.
Hmm.
They're in a new area. They don't Nobody owes them favors, and they don't have anybody's secrets. So they had to get something in return for that willingness to move. And so that's kind of like, what did they get out of it? And Scar was like, well, consistent work. And if we hire you, then you're technically one of ours, which means you fall under our protection. But because you're not inner circle, you don't have to be, because she's not like, they have jokes and they're not a gang, but they are a gang. They're not a
Yeah.
mafia,
Yeah.
but they are a
Right.
mafia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's
Yeah.
kind of how Scar's just very loosey goosey. She's just gonna do whatever feels right. She's not
Hmm.
rules. Who the fuck are you to tell me how I'm supposed to run my empire? I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Scar's very much like that. She's like, I don't think you guys are gonna betray us. We're also not really gonna give you a chance to betray us. So you don't want to be in inner circle. Okay, well, we're not going to babysit your kids if you ever have them, but I'll give you jobs. And
Yeah.
if somebody fucks with
At
you, then
arm's
they do
length.
us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of business, not family.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair.
So for what's coming next, obviously Summer's book is what's
Yes.
going to be out next. Is there anything you can tease for it or
More than you already have
yeah.
already.
Really
You
like
guys
to
want the
fish for
ending?
that information.
Um, yeah, I mean, it's still a dark rom-com. I think the humor comes where the humor in Fall for Us very much came from the bits, like the dark romance. There was a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of bits. Like I was writing to get to the bit. Like I was
Yeah.
writing to get to the
The liver.
the liver, the fragrance, like the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fight for me is the humor is really coming from Summer. Like she is just fucking hilarious. Her reactions to
So
things,
excited.
the way that she looks at the world. She is a character that when you get into her head, she's a little bit deeper than you think she might be. But even when she is like more emotionally complex, she's just funny. Like that's just who she is. So I think it's still very much a dark rom-com. It pokes a little bit of fun at dark romance, but not in the same way. It more that sense of humor is coming from Summer's character and her just being such a relatable dark romance character like reader.
Mm-hmm.
I
Cool.
feel like
So I can say
I'm
that.
gonna feel like summer is going to be me.
Probably.
Yeah, she's funny as fuck. I don't know what to say. Like she's honestly just funny as fuck and she's got balls of steel
Mm-hmm.
and not enough common sense to go with them. Like
Not so sure it's you now, Morgan.
No, no,
that's
I'm a little scaredy cat for most things, but
you're gonna be reading this and being like, Summer, what the fuck? But also you're gonna be like, Summer, like my
Oh my
girl.
God.
I
So
feel like it's gonna
funny.
be so much fun.
Oh
So
I'm
it's
yeah.
so
been
excited
really
for it.
fun to write. I will say Gabby has read what I have so far and she likes Fight for Me more than Fall for Us.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Yeah.
I loved Fall for Us.
So did
I
I.
did too. I did too.
Okay, so obviously Jade is coming back after that. Do you have like more of an order of what's coming out after Jade comes back after Summer's book, or it's just gonna be whatever comes to you and
Um, I want to finish the trilogy before starting anything else.
mm-hmm.
And then, depending on how long that takes me, I have another idea for the Fall for Us universe. Um, that would just be like another standalone.
Mm.
Um, so that is something that I would probably prioritize. Because it would be Christmas themed.
It's getting all
Ooh.
the holidays in there.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't think people caught this because I didn't like Fall First was just supposed to be a standalone, but then I loved Summer so much. And then I was like, okay. But I did the whole Halloween bit. So then I was like, all right, well, I guess Summer can be like a Valentine's Day bit. And then I was like,
Mm-hmm.
Christmas. So, and I already had the title. So I was like, well, I guess that's happening. Um, so I would want that to come out at the end of the year. Um, but could I do 4 books this year is a big ask.
Yeah.
So it would just depend. I might do like Fight for Me, Bruised and Battered, the last Holiday Mascapades book, which is the series title on Amazon, but it's not on the book cover, so I don't think like
That's
anybody
so
really.
fun.
But yes, so I might do like the third Holiday Mascapades and then go back to the final book for the trilogy, depending on like how I'm feeling timeline and writing wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but after those, that would be, I think that would be a wrap. I don't think I would do anything for Holiday Mascapades or for the trilogy. I think we'll be done both of them as trilogies. Um, and then after that, it would be a toss up between Colby's book, um, either Lennox or Rachel.
So whatever you're feeling, basically.
And I have another standalone that I've started.
Oh wow.
Standalone or duet. And then I have a couple of co-writes too that might get mixed in there.
Oh wow. You've
You're
got so much on the
busy.
So
go.
much going on.
Yeah.
Are you just like the type of person that like plots out a book and then or like chapter by chapter, or do you just like write out the plot and just sort of write?
A little bit of everything. Sometimes I plot, sometimes it goes out the window. How would you guys feel if I told you that Ro was never supposed to exist and that took me by surprise?
Oh, wow.
That was not plotted. That was a pantser moment that
Oh,
I
wow.
genuinely did not
Wow.
realize was going to happen until it happened, and then changed the entire story.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I
Yeah,
can't
that would
picture it
change
without her.
yeah, no.
Wow.
Like,
Yep,
she's the reason why the boys and they were able to get back together after the whole fight.
she is the reason that Scar even opened up at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So didn't know that was
Crazy.
gonna happen
So,
though.
okay,
Unexpected.
I just have a question. So, I'm assuming you sort of planned Scar leaving at the end of book one and that fight happening.
Yes, I did know that that was going to happen.
So,
I
how originally was they supposed to get back together if they weren't going to go visit Ro?
didn't plan that far ahead.
Oh, okay.
That was a problem for future Sammy.
Hmm.
That was not my problem. That was a plan. I okay. There were a few things that I knew. I knew I always knew Declan existed. I always knew all five guys. From the very beginning, I knew Scar was gonna have five guys. I knew that Declan was gonna come in later and that he was going to be a reflection of her past. I knew that we were gonna have Ryder, who was gonna be a reflection of her transformation. And I didn't know exactly when he came in, but I knew he would come in later. And then I knew that we were starting with Cade and Luca, who were like a very tumultuous, like best friends. I knew there was drama there. I knew that they all met as kids and that they watched her from afar. And then, like, I knew all of that backstory. I knew from the beginning. And I knew about Noah from the beginning. And I knew that he would have this, like, secret skill set that would kind of be even better than Scar's. And that they would all just kind of seamlessly fall into place like puzzle pieces. I did not know about Ro. I did not know about Jade. I did not know about Rachel. A lot of the side characters, as I was writing Shattered Chaos, were being like, I wrote Rachel's scene and I was like, oh, this is somebody. And I will tell you, I did not know Rachel so much. I thought that she might end up with the uh, dude who was selling weed. I was like, that might be like a potential love interest. And I'm pretty sure he fucking dies. Pretty sure it's one of the
God.
people that Romano takes out. So when I say I did not know, I did not know. And I did not know Ro or Jade existed until I wrote that scene and Jade was in the cell staring at Scar. And I was like, oh, I want to tell her story. And then I wrote that scene. And then when I knew that there was something else, I knew there was going to be a reason that Scar needed to go upstairs. And then I wrote it and I was like, oh.
She's
And I
kidnapped.
almost didn't want to go there. I almost didn't want to go there. Like, too sensitive,
Yeah.
too heartbreaking. And
But it's real and it happens.
it was real
Yeah.
and it happened. And then as soon as I started like writing Scar's emotional reaction to seeing this little girl, I was like, oh, this whole world just changed. Like this everything I thought I knew, I don't know anymore.
Wow.
And so yeah, I had plotted things, and there were a lot of things that went right out the fucking window when I got introduced to Ro. And I remember freaking out like to Gabby and being like, dude, what the fuck? I don't know what just happened. Like this is crazy. Um, and then another moment like that was really, really like what the fuck for me was Scarlett's self-harm in Deadly Chaos.
Mm.
That was not planned. That was not plotted.
Really? Wow. It's
That was
as like a reader, these things
That's
feel
crazy.
so
Yeah.
yeah.
thought out
Yeah.
and so meticulously placed and chosen and everything like that. How it just like came to you is like absolutely crazy to me.
There are things that are meticulously plotted out. And like I told you, I meticulously plotted out these characters. But like a lot of it, I think because I specifically do character driven books, a lot of it is like if I'm putting them in the situation, how would this character actually respond? And it's hard to jump into different mindsets. And so from my mindset of me being who I am, sometimes when I'm plotting, I can be like, oh yeah, this is what makes the most logical sense. And then I get into a character's head and I start writing it, and logic goes out the window, because as human beings, which I try to make my characters feel as real as possible, we can't always put logic before emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, did it make sense for Scarlett to keep a little girl when she is in her mid 20s, a psycho on a mission to get revenge, where she doesn't care if she lives or dies at the end of it as long as she takes her enemies with her? Does it make sense to keep a little girl? Logically, no, that doesn't make sense. That's insane. You're a fucking criminal. Like, go give that girl to a good home. That makes the most logical sense. But is Scar really going to see it that way when that little girl looks up at her and very intentionally, Ro looks just like Scarlett's little sisters. She looks like the twins. They
Mm-hmm.
share features. So when that happens, are you going to walk away? Are you going to
No.
walk away and risk that little girl not having a good life when you know that you could give her a good life?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not. You're already attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, but no, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't, it was very, yes, there are things that are very intentional. And there are some things, like, I am also somebody, I edit as I read, or I edit as I write. So I will write several chapters. I go back and I read everything, especially if I get stuck. And I go back and I change and I change. So by the time a book is done, the first chapter is usually flawless. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty solid with it. And I will have to go back and change a lot of the beginning chapters, because I actually had to go back and change the beginning of Player Problems. The first chapter, I wrote it in Baylor's point of view, and in his point of view, Torrin was originally telling the story. And then as I got to know Torrin, I was like, she wouldn't tell that story, but you
Mm-mm.
know who would? Isla.
Yeah.
And Torrin would let her because she would think it's amusing, but she would not tell that story. So I had to go back and rewrite that entire chapter as if Isla had told the story, and Torrin was just sitting
Oh,
there
okay.
smirking. So, like, there are things where it's like I have to go back and add, but then there's sometimes like where I go back and I read, and like with Scar specifically, I didn't realize that Scar was bi until I went back and I read, and I was like, she really likes attention from men and women. And there were just little things that I had put in there here and there that I didn't pick up when I was writing it. And when I went back, I was like, oh, I don't think she's romantically inclined to women, but she is very much sexually inclined to women. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why there's like that whole thing with her and Dare, is her and Dare do, they have hooked up multiple times in the past. That was a hookup buddy for her.
Yeah.
But there was just never anything romantic there. But that was something I didn't initially realize until I was going back and reading my own words. But like, oh, now that I'm in this character's head, like, this is kind of how she sees it. She likes
Yeah.
attention from anyone. She doesn't care
Mm-hmm.
what you got between your legs.
Yeah.
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 That's
So,
cool. Wow.
Lastly, I have one last question, because I talked about this too on TikTok. How the hell do you come up with your playlists?
Yeah.
Because we've learned recently making a playlist is not easy, and we need to know
No.
how you do it.
I listen to a lot of music a lot of the time. I use
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, as you've probably picked up on. I
Yes.
do use Spotify. And what I do is every time I have a um, book idea, I will create a playlist, and I will name the playlist either like, this one is SS Chaos Vibes. That's for a book, but that's not what the book is going to be called. It's just like a joke that I made.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I have like Rink Rumors, that's Colby's book. So I have Colby's playlist already started. So for every single book that I know that I want to write, I have a playlist ready. And then when I'm listening just to music, I like to listen to new music. I will put on like shuffle. I'll listen to old music. Um, and I will let Spotify, like I'll listen to the Spotify like pre-made playlists all the time. I use my day list all the time. And if I find an artist I like, I will go and re-listen to a lot of that artist's music. And anytime a song clicks for me with a specific character, I add it to their playlist. Or if it clicks to me with a specific vibe, like I know one day I want to write a rock star romance. So, and I have a lot of it plotted out in my head, and not anytime soon, but it's up here. I have a whole playlist for them because I know what I want the vibe to be. So that doesn't even have a name, and it's just Rockstar playlist, and I just put songs in there. And then if I just hear a song and I just really like it, and it doesn't necessarily spark with something yet, I have a book inspiration playlist, and
like
I
a
will add it to my
potentials
book.
playlist.
I have it into my book inspiration, and then that's what I listen to a lot of the time when I'm writing. Is I listen to my book inspiration playlist, and as things kind of, and sometimes like I will say for Rachel, there are some scenes that I wrote for Rachel's books that I wrote for a song where I was like, oh, this song just fits her so perfectly. It is inspiring me to write this scene. Or like same, like I kind of do the same thing with Pinterest boards. I make Pinterest boards. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, this is so her. It's inspiring a scene now. And then yeah, so I do that. And then I do intentionally try to make part of my editing process is I listen to the playlist and I try to put the playlist in order of the book. And I will say specifically with Shattered Chaos, I was so proud of that playlist, especially the last 3 songs. I felt like the last 3 songs were so spot on that it was like almost a spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I feel like if you listen to this, you know what happens.
For sure.
So
Oh,
that's
you
how I do
do.
it though.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of music, and like as I'm listening, I have a bunch of playlists. And I keep them private. So like, because I do link the book playlists in, and then some songs I end up cutting from the playlist because I'm like, oh, this didn't really actually end up fitting the vibe. But yeah, honestly, my book inspiration playlist has helped a lot because it's like, oh, I know I really like this song and I know it's inspiring something, but I don't know what yet. So then when I'm trying to make a playlist, or when I'm trying to like write and I'm listening to that playlist over and over again, a song I've heard 6 times. Actually, it happened with Blue Line of Betrayals. The song that is literally the song of the book was on my book inspiration playlist, and I listened to it every single day. And as I was like finalizing that playlist, I was like, I just feel like it's missing something. And I was even asking my best friend, who the book is dedicated to, my best friend Megan. She loves music. And I was asking her, and we were having a conversation about it. And then I was in my car, and I'm like, I can't think of the name now, but it started playing, and I was like, oh, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I listen to this song every day. I mean, I listened to it while I was writing them. I listened to it, and it was so perfect. It actually made me fucking mad. It's Stargazing by Miles Smith.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
That got added to the playlist after I'd finished writing that book. Where their whole first kiss is like the stars, and it's like I'm like, it's perfect for them.
It's almost like you heard the song, then wrote the book instead of vice versa.
Yeah, like subconsciously. I will say their first kiss was inspired by my first kiss with one of my boyfriends in high school.
Oh, that's cute.
Cute.
I put a lot of little moments in my books that are true, like real life stories from me, because I say it all the time. I cut myself open and I bleed on the pages. That's like the type of author that I am. And some of it is painful and some of it is just fun. And so whenever there's like a moment that I've just really, really loved in my life, that like, even I was 14 when I kissed that guy. Like, you know, he's married with kids. I've had a kid. there is no yearning or longing in that relationship anymore, but it's fun to look back and be like, that was such a sweet thing and such a sweet moment.
Totally.
It's fun to kind of memorialize it into a book and make it into this very romantic thing. And it reminds me, like, hey, like, I might not be living like my happily ever after, like prince in shining armor,
Mm-hmm.
but I have had moments worth writing about, both good and bad.
Yeah.
And it's like a nice
Aw.
little, it's a fun little treat for myself.
Totally.
I love
Oh, that's
that.
nice.
I think that's
Well,
all our questions,
yeah.
actually.
I mean, if we ask any more, it's going to be, can you tell me exactly
Yeah.
what's in Summer's book? Can you tell me exactly what's going to happen to Jade?
I'm like, do
I
you guys
want to know.
want me to like add you to all my docs, like all my
Yeah,
wigs?
yeah, great. I'll be in
Yes,
there every day.
actually.
Oh, she added a sentence, guys. We have a new sentence.
There's a new sentence. Yeah.
Someone on my team literally texted me this morning, like, I'm gonna assume you hate me because you haven't written anything. And I was like, girl, I'm tired. Like,
Yeah, fair.
I'm trying, okay? Promise.
Oh,
But yeah, that's definitely it. Besides, give me everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we definitely crossed the line in some spoilers, but
Well,
you know
we
what?
can.
It's not the
It's
worst spoilers I've ever given. I accidentally gave away Declan before Deadly Chaos had released in a podcast once, so
oh shit.
that was my bad.
Oops.
But
yeah, I don't think
yeah.
we got
I don't think I did
anything
anything
too
too
bad out of
bad.
you.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's not too
No.
bad. It keeps people
Mm-hmm.
interested. You're not giving away whole plot points, just maybe
Exactly. Just
halves.
a little
Whole
bit.
character existences.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Maybe just a little bit.
But but I just want to say thank you so much for taking
Yeah.
time out of your day to speak to us. We really, really appreciated it, and we love everything you have ever written so much.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you guys so
I
much for
Yeah,
reading.
I
of
know
course.
Westbrook Wolves is your worst it's not your worst series, but worst performing series. That needs an immediate change because
Yeah. We'll get on the
I
promoting for that one because that's just not okay.
I
People
read it
need
every
to
single day.
Honestly,
know them.
it is my fault. I'm terrible at social media.
Don't worry, we
It is.
have your back. I mean, our entire beginning of 75 books was all about your
And
books.
So I'm reading another
I
Samantha Bee
was
book. I'm
like,
reading
oh, it's my
another one.
nightly check-in video to see where they're at. Like, I'm just
Yeah.
scrolling and I'm like, oh, I know
Yeah,
this
and
book.
then and then you see that I started and finished the books in the same day because could not put them down. They were so good.
And then I finished them and
Um,
I got really sad, and now I'm in like a weird reading slump thing that Morgan keeps trying to kill me for. But yeah, so
Well, you have some docs to go read.
I
I
do.
was like,
you
I
have
know that
permission, you
I
can
have
read them now.
the files somewhere that I could have like sent to Kindles, and then I was like, I'm way too lazy for this, and I just added the rest of that. So you guys can see like my team's comments. Some of them date back to like 2023, like some of
Oh
their commenters.
wow, I didn't realize that was that long
Wow.
ago.
Yeah, I started writing Lennox when I was writing Shattered Chaos back in 2020.
Oh wow, that's really
Wow,
cool.
that is
Yeah,
actually really cool.
a lot of like I started writing Rachel back in 2020. Like I love to start a project. What I'm
And
supposed to be
then
doing.
finish it 5 years later.
Hmm.
I'm like, what was I
Well,
thinking here?
yeah. Well, we will definitely need to talk again in
Yes.
a few books' time because we're gonna have more questions.
Oh
We're gonna have
yes.
Mm-hmm.
more things we want to talk about.
And we just had
And
so much fun talking to you. You were so
yeah.
fun.
Gabby told me, she was like, you're
And
gonna have a blast. And I was like, I'm gonna talk way too fucking much. Like,
It's okay, we do too.
No
oh,
such
it's
thing.
fine.
We do the
I
same
didn't
thing.
even realize it was 2.5 hours later.
yeah.
What time is it?
Jesus.
It's 8 o'clock.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you guys so much for having me.
Of
Yeah.
This was
course.
Thank
so
you
fun.
This
for,
was a
yeah,
pleasure.
we
Thank
had the
you.
best time.
I'm like, if you guys start playing authors with alcohol, give me a call.
Yes, I think we're going
Yeah.
to have to. We'll get you, Gabby, Miss Lola King all together in a Facebook Live and we will just chit chat about
Hmm.
everything.
It'll be
Yeah.
so fun.
Yes.
It would definitely be so fun.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Okay, guys, that was our interview with Samantha Bee. I want to say thank you again, Samantha, for taking time out of your day to talk to us. We had so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much for everything that you shared, all the little spoilers, little hidden moments. The fact that Scar wasn't even going to have Ro is kind of crazy.
Um, and I'm
Yeah, what the
sorry,
fuck?
Joe?
Joe
Joe being
Oh
possibly
dead?
my,
being dead?
I don't
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
think so.
No.
No.
I'm glad he's not, because
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would have cried a whole lot if
yeah.
that happened. But yeah, if you guys made it this far, thank you for listening. Um, and yeah, we just love doing stuff like this and we had the best time. So thank you again, Samantha. And yeah,
Bye.
Hi,
guys.
guys. That was our best one yet.